Okay, Minerva Podcast, episode 26, round 2.
Wait.
Wait.
On air.
Oh,
Yeah,
hey,
okay, on air.
that was official.
We did it.
There we
Yay.
go.
Got there.
There we go. We're back.
Success.
Congrats to us.
All right. All right, Donnie, you were showing us some shoes.
Yeah, they were the coolest.
Yeah. These are my new shoes. As I was just telling the boys, I saw them online, and even though I've been really, really strict about the quarantine, because I don't want to die, because as we all know, I am not a well person. But look at how cute they are. They're like gay mom shoes, right? Because like I was just telling them, the official mom shoes of like middle-class white women are like all white kets. And these are like all white
Official.
shoes. Yeah, the official.
Yeah.
Just like the official shoe of middle-class white dads are Sperry's.
I'm just
Yeah.
picturing
I'm
a
wrong.
tombstone
I used
with
to have a
they
pair
were
of those
so
that
cute
my dad
though
passed
on
down
it.
to me.
But yeah, I'm so excited about these. I was wearing them around the house yesterday. Look, so I haven't worn them outside.
They're perfect.
Pure white.
Untouched.
You gotta keep them
I've
clean.
only felt the
Because
soft
I haven't left
You
the
gotta
house.
put tape on the bottom of them and then peel it off every time you get home.
Yeah,
Well,
That won't be slippery at all.
that would be
No,
perfect.
not on my hardwood floors. It'll be great. It'll be great.
Wears a bag tied around them every time she goes.
Oh my god, like the doctor PPP for the
What's it?
TP.
Yeah, they're
There you
like slippers or
yeah,
something.
the slippers
I
that go
forgot
over
the
your
word.
shoes. They're
Booties.
shoe covers. Oh yeah, booty.
Yeah. Which I always thought was like a dumb word for a shoe cover. I don't know.
Booty?
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Aren't
I guess
booties like
so.
the little rubber boots that babies wear too?
Yes.
I
But that's
just
because
remember
they're the same shape.
I
it's
remember
not-
as a kid,
Mm-hmm.
we visited this old like antique house, and I was like, I don't know, 7 or 8 or something, and this antique house was very, very like worn down and sensitive to additional aging. So to get in there, you had to wear little booties. And I remember as a little 7-year-old kid, I was like, I don't want to wear a thing called a booty on my foot. And that was my entire reason for not wanting to go into this awesomely designed, beautiful, ancient 200-year-old house.
Was that you
because-
didn't want booties?
Yeah, because I didn't want to wear a thing on my foot.
Were you
called
ready to
booty.
appreciate it at that age?
I don't know.
Well, you're
I feel like I missed out, and
No.
I kinda at the time regretted not.
Have you gone
just,
back?
No,
when I
didn't.
went to Iceland, I had to
fancy.
wear them to go inside this museum that had like fancy rugs on the floor that were like ancient.
Mm.
While you were telling that story, every single person in the room just took a drink.
I had
Take a
to.
good drink.
I don't know if Sig did it on purpose just to be like part of it, but like it just slowly went around.
Yeah.
We had to
Did
wear
not
some
even notice.
shoe covers
Yeah.
just to look at houses recently.
Mhm.
All the happy birthdays rolling in. Yeah, happy birthday, hon.
Yay.
We
Happy
mentioned
birthday,
this in the failed attempt, but yeah, turning 20 years old.
Maybe
Yeah.
around the
June
sun
Alright,
one more
first.
time.
going down.
I feel like it's nice and easy. First of the month, you know? New month,
Yeah.
new me.
Halfway
Kind of.
through the year.
Yeah.
Are we? I think the end
Well,
of June is halfway.
Yeah, but you know.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, pretty much.
6 months away from Christmas, it's fine.
Close enough.
I get presents.
Close
My
enough.
presents are spaced well.
It's exactly my
I
same
don't get any
situation.
presents.
Birthdays. You buy yourself presents.
Donna just has an excuse to
You just
spend
buy
more.
yourself shoes.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm a grown up and I have a job.
Yeah, when you're an adult, you have
Mark-
so many early Christmas presents throughout the year, and it really adds up.
How was Sparks' birthday?
Yeah, is she the Queen of Darkness? No, we're trying out dark mode with Donna today.
Yeah.
We're,
Mhm.
It's better for your eyes. Don't let anyone tell you different.
Cosplay.
I mean, I turned on the light and then I blinded everyone because I don't have a single light on in my room. This, how clear I am, is just strictly the reflection of YouTube off
If you,
my
just
screen.
if you just turn off your monitor, you just go black.
Yes. Hold on. Let's see. It's not gonna be totally black, but it's gonna be pretty dark.
Ah, darkness.
And then hold on, there's no white on this screen.
These two is stronger, you or Sig?
You're no
Look,
match for my power.
This is
Yeah.
That's a Borderlands quote.
You see?
Rose is
And
the face in the TV.
right. So this is just with YouTube off because I am so white. I am reflective.
Yeah, I feel like she's gonna crawl out of our screens and just
Translucent.
hide under our bed at night. Jump out of our closets. I don't know. It's
Oh,
cool. It's a nice little aesthetic. I like these little things. Like we changed the server banner on Discord, and
I saw
It's the
that.
cutest. I love that
really
thing.
happy about it.
Is it like
so
cherry
cozy?
blooms behind
No?
it?
I should show it because I know that this will change in the future, and not everybody will be able to know what we're talking about.
It was
So-
Christmas for a very long time.
Yeah, I was mentioning that.
As it should be Christmas for a very long time.
Is
I
it
still
meant
have
to
my
be
I think
like
I
lights
can
up.
show this.
Oh, Christmas.
Do you have the original picture saved? You can just
I'm
pull that up.
trying to show that without showing anything I shouldn't. Okay, so Aggie sent a bunch of photos that she took, and one of them included these flowers, and it took some heavy editing to make this look good up here. I had to blur it a lot and get the crop right, but I don't know. I like the way it turned out. And
I thought I
Damn
had
it.
seen that somewhere. I didn't know like where I saw it, but I guess I saw those pictures in like passing.
yeah,
Mhm.
well, she just sent them today, and it's nice because we've always just had some ripped photo off of Google, like just some
Mhm.
Right.
nice looking picture that, like, honestly, some of them will have that watermark still, but squished down to 64 by 64 with a slight blur.
Just pretend that we can't see it.
You're not
Oh.
even gonna notice. I mean, and we're not monetizing that image, so I didn't feel too bad
Right.
about it. But it's nice to use an in-house one, and it's little stuff, but the way that it goes from light to dark, and I left a little bit of the green in there so you can tell they're flower. It's nice. I like the way it turned out. I've
Way-
almost,
Very lovely.
I've never actually changed the server picture to this much approval before. There's always somebody who's like, change it back. But no,
I always have this on the top server though, so it doesn't really matter. Like I don't have to look for it based on the picture.
everybody's kind of okay with it. And it's purple. Like, it's radically different from the winter blue that we've had for a long time. So it's a nice.
Thank you, Sig. What's your question for
Sig,
us?
Sig over there in the back.
Someone hand him the mic.
Oh, you don't
kinda
like it?
fucked Me up. I didn't.
Oh, he's the one that
Oh,
didn't
yeah?
like it.
Yeah.
I'm the one going, "Yeah, change
I
it
thought
back."
you wanted to raise your hand to like speak, but it was because you're like,
No.
no,
Well-
that's me.
I mean,
Like,
I
no,
just-
that's me.
I just said it. It was radically different. So, like, immediately you'd be like, oh, that's different. That's weird. I don't, but, like, it's.
Yeah, I'll give
like
it time
it.
to grow on me, but I feel like the Milita gets lost in the flower.
That's why I tried to give it a shadow, but
It does have I did notice the bit of a background to it.
pops a little bit.
Which is nice. Yeah.
I feel like a shadow is almost forced because anything else is just Milotic on image, and that has always been what we've used for over 4 years. But I've never had such a contrasting or like a blending image, so there needs to be some contrast so it pops a bit. I don't know. Keeps it 3D.
One other thing, real quick. Chriselle, I love the sign and everything.
Yeah.
I feel like the fact that you're wearing the Minerva tee is lost on the sign.
Oh, no.
Though.
Okay, we got to go down a bit. Yeah, we can hang out down here.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
me
still
too.
in frame.
I have the heart shirt. I just
Yeah.
not
I
wearing
mean-
today.
I have no idea what Clark did with his Minerva hoodie.
It's just gone.
It's around. So to be fair, he has multiple black hoodies because he is thoroughly my child. So he like copies my style. He loves
Mhm.
things that are rainbow, and he loves all his hoodies to be black. So he has like 3 black hoodies,
That's an
and
aesthetic.
one of them, yeah, right. It's his. He's so cute. He's like, yeah, he's so cute. But so he has like 3 black hoodies, and every time I think I find it, it's one of the other ones. But he hasn't left the house in it, so it's somewhere in the house.
Hiding from
Mhm.
you.
He's
Yeah.
sleeping with it.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's like in between the wall and his bed, and I'll
It's
find it
in
when
the
I go
wall.
to change the sheets.
Yeah. Last night my wife was like, "Hey, can you do me a favor?" And I was like, "Okay, honey, what's up?" And she just told me that her Kindle had fallen down between the crack between our giant king-size bed frame and the wall, and so I had to like move the whole thing out, and it was a whole giant thing. And it
I
was,
just pictured you in a
It's
hard
like-
hat with a crew of people. There's safety
Yeah.
barriers. They've got a crane reaching down that.
we had to tear out the entire wall. And
This is why you need a child to go under the bed.
Yeah.
Chriselle,
Exactly.
I have a solution for you.
What's that?
Pool noodles.
Pool
you know
noodle.
that stupid foam noodle thing you can get for the pool?
Yes.
Yeah.
Take that,
I
get 3 or 4 of them, and jam them between your bed and the wall all the way down the line, And
I
then
have one
anything you
on
drop
right.
will stop.
Yep,
Before
I have
it
one right
swings
below
back
my outlet
before
because I have
you
an
get
outlet behind the
Incredibly
headboard of
clever.
my bed. So I use that
See,
so if the outlet falls, it stays right there.
I was thinking of like making a little riser out of some wood and such like stuff like that, and just making like little things for cables to be attached to, and like a little phone charging power strip thing, and little Kindle stand, all sorts of various knick-knack things, and all
I just
sorts
solved
of
your
useful
problem for
little
$3.
features.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a pool noodle, that's a very nice
You could
solution.
even
Can't
run,
see it, so
you could even run cables through it if you just slice the top because they're
Yeah.
hollow. You could even
that's
run your cables through it.
Yeah. Huh. I'll run
Or
it by my wife.
If you
see what she
do
says.
slice it, you could actually clip that onto the frame of the bed so that it actually stays where it is for good.
I totally forgot about this. I used to do this
That's
when
clever,
Clark was
actually.
little because we co-slept, and I didn't want his little fat arm to get stuck in between the bed and the mattress.
Yeah.
Well, little Clark
He
chicken
never
wing.
did. Little Clark chicken wing. Oh. He
Well,
never
speaking
moved
of-
that much with his arms. He had a fat head, so.
Speaking of Clark,
Mhm.
birthday boy had a
Yes.
birthday,
Yes.
and you asked all of us to do the video thing singing
Yes.
happy birthdays.
I missed
How
that.
did that
See if
go?
I can get it from my husband.
get
He
the edited one.
loved it, yeah. Because
I
he
missed
cut
it.
it all together. It was really nice how he cut it together. I
Mm-hmm.
was like wondering how he was gonna do it. I was like, is he gonna Brady Bunch it or like? Because that's what I thought he was gonna do. I thought it was gonna be
Yeah.
like how we are here in chat, but
Yeah.
no, he took like different people doing different verses of it.
Mhm.
And transition from them.
So there was like it was longer than it needed to be. So it was like several happy
Yeah.
birthdays instead of just two. Like,
Yeah.
But it was really well done, and then it was
Yeah.
really cute because we all know Bexy, right? We love Bexy.
Mhm.
She is a character actor, and she sent me a lovely video of her as Merida, and it was the cutest fucking thing. And Clark's
What
face
is-
That's awesome.
lit up. Merida
What is-
from Brave. It's the Scottish
Oh,
princess.
okay. Yep. Nope. Yep.
Mhm.
I know who that
Yep.
is.
And Clark loves that movie. He loves any movie that they're shooting. Like he loves Pocahontas because the bow and arrow's there too.
Mhm.
But so she was Merida, and it was the cutest video. And she said something along, she said something along the lines of, happy birthday, and it's your mom's birthday too, so share your cake, but
Mhm.
don't let it turn her into a bear. So you're gonna have to test it.
Wait, it was
That's
your
the
birthday
first-
yesterday too,
Great.
or on?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Friday. Yeah, Clark and I have the same birthday. He's a little birthday thief.
Nice.
A birthday.
Very
Yeah.
rude.
He
Very
is. I
rude.
call him my birthday thief. Sometimes he thinks it's funny. Sometimes it irritates him. But that's my job as a mother, right?
If I knew that,
Well, it's been
when we
a
all
good
did the whole thing
combination of
together, I
both,
would have
I
had us
guess.
all sing both of your names.
Oh yeah,
It-
no, it's fine.
It's been my understanding though that when he finally turns 21, you're gonna ruin that birthday for him.
Yes, that is my plan. But I don't know if it's actually gonna ruin anything because he is.
How
such
old will
a
you be when
mama's
he's
boy.
21?
I will be 47. So the plan is, I cannot
His
wait
other-
until his 21st birthday because he's gonna go out with all his friends, and I'm gonna go with them.
and get
And so like
turned.
I'm gonna get turned, and all his friends are gonna be like, "Why is your mom here?" And I'm gonna be like, he's gonna be like, "It's her birthday too," and I'm gonna be like at the bar, like with a drink in my hand, be like, "Baby's 21st, Mama's 47th." Like
That'll be great.
That poor
Be like, it's
kid.
my birthday again.
it's my
It's my
birthday.
birthday again.
Everyone's
Do this every year. Woo!
It's kind of funny, that social facade, because if he actually goes with it and then he's partying with his mom the whole night, then it's more awkward than you would make it otherwise, you know?
A lot of people
Like
go
if
out
he's
with
the
their
one
parents
going
21st
crazy
birthday.
with mom in the back of the bar, then it's gonna be like weirder than if she was freaking out and he was disgusted by it. I don't know. There have been some good movies surrounded by that, though. Just a parent going crazy and the kid just takes to it, like, let's go.
Isn't it
No,
like the
I
Back to
feel like
College movie or whatever it is?
Mm.
I feel like it's
Oh, I
more the friends that are gonna be like,
right. I
Mom
think
is
it's the
hammered.
friends that are gonna be like, "This is fucking weird." So
No, I think the
Yeah.
friends would be like, your mom is badass. This is awesome.
21
I mean, it depends on the friend.
year olds. That
Yeah.
would be weird too.
I had custody of my younger brother for several years. So he came to me when he was a junior in high
losing
school.
you guys.
Am I what? Oh, a little bit. You are losing us. But anyways, so my brother came to us when he was a junior in high school. So I had him all through junior and senior year, and then he joined the military. But so when I would pick him up from school, I would blast either so I'm from the Bay Area. I would either blast Bay rap, or I would blast 90s boy and girl band stuff like Backstreet Boys or Spice Girls.
I did that when I picked up my sister too.
Right. I was always blasting something completely ridiculous. Like one time I rolled up blasting No Scrubs by TLC. And it was always really funny because my brother would just dance to the car and get in. The kids that would ride with us, because we took
They're like, don't look at me.
They'd be like, oh my God. And
So
what's extra
shameful.
funny, I feel like you will appreciate this most, Chriselle, is one of the kids that carpooled with us was Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps' son. So,
Oh.
yeah, the Sergeant Major of the Marine Corps at the time.
I've met him.
Sergeant Major Green?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Big
his
name.
His
Small
son-
world.
his son went to school with my kid, and he would carpool with us because he only lived a neighborhood over. And so my brother was constantly volunteering me to drive his friends home, which I didn't mind.
I still think about the story where you got out of the car when you were pregnant. You're like, there you are.
But yeah, so
Wow. Woo.
Yep.
Crazy birthday plans. We're really going to be looking forward to that one.
tangent here.
Chriselle, when you moved your camera down, you can't see the on-air sign anymore.
No,
Oh,
he
no.
knows. We're trying to see Minerva.
It's a combination. Okay. It's a
Yeah, so how do we
delicate
see the
balancing
on-air
act.
and the Minerva?
You'll
you
have
We
to
back
move
go
our
up
to
chair
the
up
on-air.
slightly.
Yeah, just back up a little bit.
Yeah, just taller Chriselle.
Stop
Puff your chest.
slouching. Jeez.
Well, if you didn't
Does your
just
chair
nail it,
go up anymore?
if you didn't just
I
nail
just
it, I
did
would have
move it
said
up
you should
a bit.
just stand up at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
I
But
could
see,
do
that's
that.
the thing is, y'all may not remember this, but many years ago we had these things called phone books.
What are those?
They were about
Yeah,
this
I've
thick.
seen those in
You could get a
museums.
couple of them and just sit on those and just right on up into the frame.
I
Do they
used to
still
have
make
to sit on
those?
those in restaurants. If they didn't have booster seats, I would have to sit on phone books.
I would just be short, or instead of my legs.
Oh my god, yeah, I can't remember the last time I even looked at a phone book. I think we threw ours out at some point and just never
Yeah.
looked back.
Well,
I
the last
still get
the last phone book I even saw had like 80 pages in it. It was just a
Hmm.
tiny little thing.
near me. They still do it for Frontier. So my dad,
Yeah.
we still get them at my parents' house, and a guy that I work with delivers them.
I feel
so
like
they
a,
just sat in the back of an open truck for like 6 months.
I feel like a version of them has to exist, but
Oh
like
yeah, the Yellow Pages still
Yeah.
exists.
Probably somewhere.
You have to specifically request a physical
They're like
copy delivered
Yeah,
to
they're
you.
like
now.
$60 or $80
Yeah.
now.
yeah, didn't they just send them to you?
When I was in college, they had this campus phone book with every student's number
Oh,
and email address, which I don't really understand how they thought that was a good idea. But I think in the last year I was there, they realized, yeah, we're not gonna do this anymore because
stalk
yeah,
people,
it
get their
was
number.
weird.
Yeah,
It was really
no,
weird.
Do
really
a
not.
lot with that.
It
You can't it's all of the students on campus, and they just
It's
handed
also-
those out. You could get them just walking on the
You
campus.
can
Thanks, I'll
message
take
the
one.
girl who didn't give you her number, or prank the guy who didn't need to hear
Yeah.
from you, and
Yeah.
You just need a first name and last name, and yeah.
spam email a bunch of
There's,
people who don't
Did
need
you
it.
know that Mormons have something like that for all? It's fucking creepy. I apologize if you're Mormon and you're watching it, but y'all creep me the fuck out. My husband was raised Mormon, and so he was still in their
is
logs
he
or
from Salt
whatever.
Lake City?
No, no, but his family's from Utah. Anyways, I made a Mormon friend once, and I had mentioned, I was like, oh yeah, my husband was raised Mormon, but he hasn't been a part of the church in forever, and I'm Catholic, so he just kind of goes along with me. And she goes, oh yeah, I thought I saw his name in the app.
Mm-hmm.
The app? There's an app?
There was an app with all the members name
Yeah.
and phone number. And if you're in the same congregation or the same area, you can also access their address. What? That
That's
is
not a-
I mean, they could just walk around until they found you too. Like that's
Yeah, I mean,
that's even
that
like
still
that's
is some
so psycho. So she like brought up the app and they had like my husband's nickname from when he was a kid, so they hadn't updated it. And then they had a name for me, but it was the incorrect name. Thank God. But yeah, and they had like his phone number and like our address. And I was like, oh no, this is not okay with me.
How do they get away with that?
Religion.
no one
Is
says
there
anything.
anything you could do about it?
At the church.
You have to formally withdraw from the church with like legal documents, or else
Oh
they
my
will not.
God.
They won't
Yeah,
respect
they
it.
don't recognize it.
Yeah, you
so.
can't just be like, oh, I don't want to go anymore. Which
I
to
should
me
watch-
is like mind blowing.
I watched a video on the biggest cults in existence, and the Mormon Church was on there.
Yes,
Yep.
that. They
And he was
are-
super careful about it. He's like, hey,
that. And
I know that
Scientology
this
were
is a
definitely
major
on there.
religion, yada, yada, yada,
Yeah.
but it meets every specification of a cult. I was
There's like a certain qualifications for what a cult is. I forget what that list is.
Part of it has to be
let me
that
look
it
that up.
discourages you leaving. But going back to the phone book things, a big reason they were discontinued is the paper they were using for a long time is the same paper they use on dollar bills. So when you use those dollar bill markers on it, it shows up as yellow instead of brown. Also, Sig, you're muted.
He's talking to somebody in the background.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. But
You're
yeah,
smiling
so
without
they
us.
had to stop using it because people were able to buy the paper and use
Right.
it to make fake bills.
Oh, jeez.
Oh wow.
Because it tricked those pens.
Huh.
Okay.
Yeah, I
That's-
don't
Yep.
think phone books are a way for the future. We're a little bit more
Yeah.
more digital
Who
now.
has a
Like,
landline anymore? Like, what's the point of paying for it if you can just have cell phones at this point?
It
Oh,
always-
The only
my, my ISP forces you to have a landline
Right.
in order
Really?
to get
Mine doesn't.
internet.
Yeah.
So people in like the middle of nowhere are in very
Alex, thank
dense
you for the
areas
super
that there
chat.
aren't cell
Sorry we have
tower
alerts off for
towers,
the
and if
show.
it's a really dense
Appreciate it, I
area,
do. Thank you.
satellite isn't great either. So you
Mhm.
have to have landlines. And then
Well,
also,
having like landline internet is different than having like a landline phone, though. Most of the time.
right?
See, now,
No, so I'm talking about
remember-
phones as well.
I remember
because-
seeing a thing a while back about how they were going to make all the phone booths that used to be like one on every corner or a bank of them on every
Mhm.
other corner or whatever in New
Mhm.
York City. Like they were going to
Yeah.
make those phone booths into an Wi-Fi hotspot type thing.
Yeah.
They were going to
that
use
sounds
that all
amazing.
That
that.
doesn't make any sense though, because they made money off the phone booths. They won't make money off the Wi-Fi unless they
I
charge
mean,
to use
they
it.
could
You
do the
don't
charge one,
need to
I
make
don't know. They
money
could
off
add it to the
public
taxes that
utilities.
everybody in New York pays. I don't know.
right?
But the whole idea was that they could do that, and then that would essentially cover the entire city.
Yeah,
with
because you can do
Wi-Fi
Wi-Fi
coverage.
calling.
Did they not do that?
And I don't know whether or not that happened or not. I'd have to look into it.
I'm
and we
sure
might
it's
be able
still
to
up
talk
in the
about it more
air
in the next podcast or
yeah.
something.
Well, it
But
would
There
be
are-
in
it
the
just
air.
occurred to me that was something.
There are some cities here and there around the world. It's usually smaller cities that have used like their local taxes, their local funds to put like fiber through their entire little towns and whatnot. And then they are their own ISP for their
Mhm.
town. And it's just kind of rolled into like your local utilities, like, you know, your
Yeah.
trash, water, electricity. It's just rolled into that, like your
Oh.
property taxes and stuff.
Sig, this was back in 2016 that they like actually did it
Oh,
in New York
They
City.
did do it.
does New
Yeah.
York City just have citywide internet?
I don't know
Huh.
if it's still a thing. It was 4 yeast ago, but at least 4 years ago they were at
Oh
least
my god,
starting to do it or
2016 was
doing
4
it.
years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just saying. I remember hearing something about it a while back, but I don't know if it ever happened or
He
not.
said 2016, and mentally, without
Yeah.
really thinking the thought, I was like, oh, a couple years ago.
Yeah, me too. I was like, oh yeah.
Oh
You
shit.
think I would have a better like concept of time, seeing how my son's birthday just passed?
There
And I
were
was like, oh,
jokes.
Born in 2015.
There were jokes on the internet. I haven't seen one in a long time for years where it was like, oh yeah, 2010. That was like 4 years ago, and then they look at the date, and it's 2017. Like,
Dude,
Oh,
people
yeah.
were
That's how I
saying
feel
that
about
about
like the mid
2005.
2000s. Yeah, 2005. That was
I think-
like 6 years ago, right?
I think every generation goes through it. And I was reading it from similarly aged people to me that were growing up in the 2010s. So everything was like The height of my memory was 2010, which was, you know, a few years ago, which is not a few years ago at this point. Oh my god, it's
Yeah.
been a decade officially.
2010 is the year I got married.
Yeah,
I wouldn't-
2010 was the year I
It's-
moved on to 6th grade.
It's been 15 years since Hey There Delilah came out. Like,
Oh no.
That
That's my
The song,
quantification for how long time has passed.
I saw it. Like, well, obviously it was 5
That's
years ago at
great.
this point, but yeah, I'm like, it's been out for 10 years. I'm like, there's no way it's been out for 10 years.
That hit me harder than it should.
Yeah, I know, right? Because that song was so popular for a while. Like
For me, it
everyone
was,
remembers it.
Looking forward to Modern Warfare 2's release and being stoked about it in 2009.
Yeah.
when I got my first computer in 2008.
I remember in 2011 when my friend showed me a video of CNNers playing Minecraft, and yeah, it was.
I
was
was
a
there
long time
way
ago.
before Minecraft.
Yeah, I know.
that man
Well,
was
for a
a
while I didn't,
Call of
like,
Duty
play
player
video
at heart. That's
Yeah.
where he got started. And it was just weird to me when I found out he played Minecraft, because that was like when he took off, but that was well after I
Yeah.
had stopped following him. So
That
it was
a
very backwards
amazing
for me.
Series.
Six just remembering things from before when we were born at this point. But
Yeah.
All
I
rushing back all at once.
I remember dial-up.
I remember when cell phones were new. Just
Yeah.
cell phones in general.
I
They were
remember
new.
when my friend got a pager for her birthday, and it was the coolest
Oh.
thing because
Mhm.
My
she got
dad-
a pager.
My dad
Do-
still had a
He-
pager when I was growing up because he needed to be called in for like internet emergencies because he worked in the help area.
I love Lego's take on this. Sig probably lost his virginity before we were born.
25
This is
years
my
ago.
It
PDF.
was actually
Yeah.
interesting, Lego. It was 9 months before you were born, he did.
25 years ago.
Wait, why do you know off the
I'm
top of your head?
27.
That took me a minute when you said that with Lego.
Wait, what happened 25 years ago?
He lost his virginity.
Aren't you 30?
38?
Wait,
I was 13.
Jesus Christ. You just got right at it, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Awkward silence now. No, I don't give a shit. Whatever.
The mom in
Jesus
me is really upset by this.
I don't know.
Well, how
The dad
old
in you
was
is probably
she?
pretty proud though.
Was this like, Nice.
15, I think.
Oh,
wow, that's old for a 13-year-old.
When I
Damn.
was 17, when I was 17, I was dating a girl that was 24.
That's weirdly less weird.
You don't like my attitude when I'm interrupted, Jojo? I
Oh,
make
don't read too far into JoJo. He says crazy shit every single stream.
a You must be
He was the
new
one that
here,
was
bitch.
asking who would win fights earlier.
I think JoJo's age might be on the clock. So
No one likes being interrupted. That's
I
just
bought
a
myself
simple
something for my
fact.
birthday.
Oh yeah?
What would you get?
What'd you
I
get?
bought
Oh
a
sure.
controller.
Oh,
It's
that actually
Legend
looks
of
nice.
Zelda.
Ooh,
That's
nice.
cool.
Nice.
I love those themed controllers. They're always so cool.
Is it clicky? That's important.
Is that a Switch
Oh, right.
controller?
I don't know. I'm listening to my microphone. That's not how that works. Oh yeah, it is clicky. Very
Yeah.
fun. Okay.
Yeah, it's
So I just turned my ear towards my microphone.
a
It
Switch Pro
clicks.
controller.
Acceptable.
It's a wired. I don't like the wireless ones. They don't. I don't like the way they work, so I got the wired one. They're only $20
Yeah.
compared to like $80 for the wireless.
Clark
I bought myself a really expensive controller too. That just hasn't come yet.
Oh,
Mhm.
That was an accidental call.
I would have figured he was just trying to team up a no cool. He tried to delete.
Clark
Full
got his
band.
controller for his birthday. One of my friends got him a Switch controller. It's not a pro controller. It doesn't vibrate, but it's just a wireless Switch controller.
Mhm.
And it looks like a Master Ball. And Clark
That's cool.
literally did a happy dance when he got it. I think that was his favorite present out of all of his presents. And it's kind of funny because I had forgot about it because I had hidden it under my bed when it came in the mail. So like it was still the night of his birthday. We were in my room and I was looking for like my slippers or something.
He
I
already
found
got
them.
all his presents at this point. I'm assuming.
Yes, he thought he already got all his presents. And I found this and I was like, oh, Uncle Terry got you a present. And here you go. And it was just in the Walmart box, but like it was still
Mhm.
like folded over. I had cut it open.
Close
so he
enough to
just had
wrap.
right. It was close enough to wrapping. He just had to unfold it and then take the plastic off of it. So same as
Mhm.
wrapping. He didn't care. He took it off and he got it in his hand and he did a little happy dance.
That's
And he kept
great.
saying, I got a Pokemon Switch. Like he understands it's a controller, but it was so
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's me every
My
time I got a Master Ball in the
parents
main series
lost a-
games.
Yeah, my parents lost a gift for my sister, or didn't lose it, but it was like we have one of those like big basin sinks in our
Mhm.
laundry room because those are like in all the older houses at this point. I don't know why, but no one
Mhm.
uses them. They just fill them with random shit. But it was in the bottom of, or my parents don't use it at least. In my house, it was always full of shit. There was a present in the bottom of it for like 3 years for my sister that they just forgot was
Wow.
there, and they went to go donate stuff, and they're like, "What is this?" And it was something my sister's like, "I wanted that like 4 years ago."
That's so
I think every
sad.
parent has done that.
Just lost a present for their child.
Not
My
here.
parents took away my iPod Touch 4 when I
Mhm.
was in middle school and forgot where they put it because
Oh,
they
no.
hid it, and I've never gotten it back.
Mhm.
They'll
Yeah.
find it eventually when you're like way older.
When they're
it's fine.
moving,
Yeah.
when they sell their house and move to Florida.
Last
That-
year for his birthday. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
That little submarine up there, I think I showed it in a previous podcast. That was a
Hmm?
replacement gift for a Lego set that my dad threw away when I was like a little kid. And yeah, he felt bad. Like I was a little messy kid, didn't take care of my toys. He put that present in the trash bag and took it out with the trash. He was gonna give it back later, but he didn't
Right.
do that. But yeah,
I
so that's me as a 27-year-old man got that as a gift, and it's the best thing ever.
I had a Nintendo 64 and oh god, what was it called? The Commodore, whatever. I had one of my. It was my dad's.
Commodore
I don't.
64?
Is that what it was
Mhm.
called? I forgot. I never used it. I was too young. But we had that, and we had like 3 consoles in this one drawer underneath one of those big TVs that had like the wooden box around it, and 2 of them were broken. The Commodore 64 and one of the other ones was broken. Whatever one you could play Sonic on was the one that was working because that's all I played when I was little was Sonic.
GameCube?
And my mom
game.
threw out the Commodore 64, which my dad wanted to keep, even though it was broken. He wanted to try to fix it, and
Yeah.
he threw out the one for Sonic, and she just threw them both out. And I was like, well, my life's gone.
Oh,
Throw out a
That's so
broken
sad.
one. Oh.
It was the Sonic game. It was like the Sonic Adventure game where you could collect the little like guys, and like they had a habitat that you could take care of them in, like the little
Yeah.
like guys with the little antenna on their head. And that's all I did in that game was just like take care of them.
Oh,
my brother
The hell's
an
that?
Xbox 360
Mhm.
had like modded
find out
it so
someday.
that he could play mods on GTA on his Xbox. And
Yeah.
so it was like this taken apart Xbox, and it was like in a shoebox to like as a like a ghetto case for it.
Mm-hmm.
We moved from the apartment that we were in to the house because I got pregnant, so we needed bigger than a 2-bedroom apartment now.
yeah.
It disappeared, and what we think happened is one of our friends that was helping us move was like,
Oh,
"Oh,
it's
this is garbage," and
Oh, no.
tossed it out. I felt so bad, and it was a while before I could get him a new one because we had just moved.
Yeah, moving is expensive.
It wasn't too bad. We were just moving to a different house on base,
Oh, okay. Well,
so it wasn't too bad because
Still, having to move your shit sucks.
yeah.
right.
I wouldn't want to move rooms, let alone like houses.
Well, and like I said, I was pregnant, so we were buying all the baby stuff.
That's
Yeah.
so unfortunate. I've seen my
I
sub
feel
counter, for
bad.
example. If you turn it upside down, it is quite literally LaFlossie has stuck a Raspberry Pi with exposed wires and everything inside of a OnePlus phone box. So
Mhm.
anybody would see that and think, if it wasn't for the display, they'd think this is junk.
Right, just a jumbo wire.
But
Yeah.
like, no, it's not. It's really not. Well, I
I
mean,
did
YouTube
3D
made it
print runs
junk,
off a
but
Raspberry Pi.
it's not. It's useful because YouTube
Yeah, I still
switch the
feel
sub
guilty
counts to
about
not update regularly.
Mm.
I get to watch it
So, real
switch
quick-
every 100, which is boring.
Real
Defeats the
quick.
purpose. Yeah, what do you
Mhm.
got there? What is that?
This is a brand new knife sharpener.
Oh,
Oh,
My dad gave me an electric one. It's not as
It is. It is spring loaded to the sides here, and there's a.
ooh.
If you look in between, I don't know
Mhm.
how well you can see
looks
in
like a
there.
pretentious set of
but-
scissors.
There's metal in there, yeah.
Yeah.
And depending on which way you hold the blade, if you hold the blade upright like this, or
Mhm.
tilt it down like this, you get a coarse or a fine sharpen as you sharpen the blade, pulling it
That's
through
cool.
like that.
Nice.
So
How much
that's,
does one of
Oh,
those run you?
I don't know, like $25, I think.
I don't know.
That's not bad. It
Yeah,
looks
I have,
sturdy.
like,
looked really
I
fancy.
have like actual sharpening stones with like oil and stuff that I used to use for my wood cutting knives because I used to
Yeah.
whittle and do like I made like this frog once that I used to like for a light pull thing because
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was no, I got that because the one I have at the restaurant,
Mhm.
that I use basically every time I work because other people use my knives and don't care about them.
They use them as hammers.
Oh, I've heard these stories before.
Yeah, I've literally picked up a knife and the sharp part was duller than the dull part.
Right.
You know.
Oh
Yeah.
my
yeah.
god.
Um,
How many times
yeah,
can you
I,
sharpen a knife
I
before
have
it's
to-
just gone?
A lot. It doesn't take it.
Yeah.
You can
It
take
more hones it. It doesn't take off really any metal when you sharpen.
Unless you're using an
sharpen a
angle
knife
grinder.
that has a heel
Yeah.
like this. You can sharpen that knife all the way down until it's just a damn toothpick.
I've seen
Yeah.
knives that were like full like butcher knives that were like this thin before. At my job when I was working at Panera, they only started buying serrated knives for a long time because they just gave up trying to sharpen them because people just ruin
Right.
them. And
Yeah.
serrated knives, they're dangerous, but you can use them when they're dull. But because the reason they started doing that, is someone had a normal knife and decided, I wonder if I could stick this in our metal counter, and so they just jammed it in it, and the knife split in half and went into a wall.
Oh, geez.
What the
Yep.
fuck? They had
Yeah.
a metal surface and figured, I'm gonna stick a knife in it.
Yeah, they're like, well, let's see which metal's harder.
This is kind of a common thing. When I was in high school, my dad gave me like this really nice little buck folding knife. It's called I think it's a lockback knife is what it's called, where it has the little lock on the back side of it. And it's a
You gotta
really
push the
nice
button to flip it back
$40
down.
knife. And I cherished that thing greatly. It's very nice. It's got little brass caps on the ends. And I showed it to my friend when we were outside our little neighborhood, and he opened it up, unfolded it all, and he grabbed it and hammered the tip of it up against our metal mailbox
Why?
and broke the tip of it. I don't know, but it ruined that tip. And like the very tip of it, you have to sharpen it down a lot to get that tip back because the tip of it is just this tiny little triangle of metal, and it was just gone off of it. And I
I have
didn't
a
talk to him
collection
for
of
3
pocket-
weeks.
I have a collection of pocket knives because I worked at a scout camp and I was in scouts. And
Mhm.
basically every time I went, I would get one to like remember it. And I used to get them for my parents as like memorial kind of things. But I also have a whole collection of throwing knives, like the actual like they look like shurikens.
Yeah.
One of my friends threw that at a like the electrical boxes that are in like the front yards of like suburban
Oh
areas,
no.
and it stuck into it because the blade was steel, but that's aluminum. So it just
Yeah.
stuck into the metal thing. I'm like, I'm not gonna touch that. I don't know what's inside that box.
That's permanent
Right.
now.
He ended up getting it out with like a net or something. He like hit it out with it.
Yeah.
It's funny you're talking about all
I'm
these.
sorry,
knives
I'm just
sharpened.
seeing my name just lighting up the whole right hand half of my screen. over here.
Right. So
Mine
it's
was
funny
doing that
talking
earlier
about.
because they were saying con for
Yeah.
It's nice that the... You know, I will say this about the stream dying in the first minute 33. The chat did start working on YouTube, so...
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
bad
I
going
saw
for
that.
us.
Yeah, you're just in the middle of saying it's the chat's not working, Sig, and the
Yeah.
stream killed itself.
And
Yeah.
killed it.
That was it. That was our rare glance at a full Rosa face. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
I take off my glasses all the time to like wipe them off and stuff.
I don't know. That
You
was the
said you
first
had a
time I
nice story,
glanced down
Rosa?
while you were just looking at the camera.
She took
I
her
was
glasses
doing
off
crazy
when
eyes.
she took her wig off last time.
Yeah, I always do. Otherwise, my glasses go
with
fly.
it.
Yeah,
Yep.
right.
Yeah, Sig, it'd be cool to see your knife collection, like, at the
Mhm.
kitchen.
Well,
Yeah.
honestly, I only have like 3 knives total.
Yeah, you're only really
I feel like that's what it
they're all
gets
just-
There's
simplified
a
to.
small
You know?
collection, but
I
it's
have,
still
I have a
worthwhile to
10-inch
see.
chef knife, 8-inch chef knife, and another much cheaper 8-inch chef knife. That's really it.
Yeah, like
I
I feel like
have
when you know what you're doing, you just sort of get a very refined set of tools that really get used. Like you'd think
Yeah.
the professional chef would have a wide array of tools, but
Well,
probably
they
get the
do,
job
don't use
done.
them all.
This is a IKEA.
I have 4 knives. I have a serrated bread knife, a normal like one of the really long ones for bread. Those I just got from my parents when I moved out. But and then I have a 10-inch and an 8-inch chef knife that I use.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think if people are going to be typing in the stream chat, they should be, yep, not high. There he goes. She just timed him out. That dude doesn't know who or what the fuck he is right now. And I don't need to hear about it.
Put up with it for long enough, and then that last comment, you can get fucked, JoJo.
Calling Lego fat?
Yeah.
Lego. He's one of my favorite people. Just from a bystander's
Lego
point.
actually changed his name to Lego, because I feel like I don't know if you'd have a problem with that.
I don't know. Name used to be Legolas, so I figured we'll just call him Lego, and now he's just become one with a Lego brick. And he
Or leg. It could work.
just call him L.
Yeah.
Legos and presents
Or just
and
go.
fighting
Just call
and
him Go.
forgetting. Last
No,
year
I
for
have to
Clark's
think of that.
birthday, he got so many Lego sets because I got him just a bunch of Lego sets, like a bunch of little ones, because he cared more like about the minifigures, and we got him like the mass box. So I got him a bunch of the little sets so he could get a bunch of people to play with his Legos.
Mhm.
And I got so many of those, and I hid so many of those that I forgot how many I got. And I gave him, like, he had a ton of presents for Christmas because I just got like a bunch of those like $10 to $7 like little boxes that come with 2 to 3 minifigures.
And like
right?
the mystery ones.
Right. No, I didn't get the mystery ones because those are like $7 for just the minifigure. So I get the
they
cheap
sell them for like
set.
$2 or $3 if you buy them online.
Yeah. So I just got like the cheap sets that had. So he likes building the little sets and then taking them apart and then making whatever he wants. So, anyways, got him so many of those that I found them for months afterward. Like
Just one at a
so I was
time.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'd find like 1 or 2 here or there, and I'd like wait till he like did something like really good, and I'd be like, here, it's a present.
There you go.
I found an
a good way to
Easter egg
space
in
it out.
December once, just because like all the
Perfect
leaves
segue.
were dead and it was like in a bush, and I'm like, why is the bush orange? Oh, there's an Easter egg in it.
That's why we only do plastic eggs. Oh,
Yeah, that's. Well,
Yeah.
they
if I
was
walked
plastic, yeah.
outside in the heat and humidity of North
People hide
Carolina,
real eggs?
Oh, I could not
If
imagine
you-
using
I'd
real
be
eggs.
like, no.
Sick, do you hide real eggs?
No.
Oh,
go ahead.
okay.
I found this thing on
I'm laughing. I'm laughing at the stupid thing I posted in our chat that Beast.
Oh, I know.
I am leg. That's
Oh my
very clever. This is your final form, Lego. Yeah.
Right.
Leg, whatever it is.
Yeah, this is just like the first half of I Am Legend, so it doesn't show the end. It's just I Am Leg.
I've never
This is
seen
a
that
good
movie,
part where he's
actually.
showing off his cool little
It's actually
survival
really good.
bunker.
I've heard it's a really good movie.
I liked
You
it.
should watch it.
There are 2
Oh.
endings, which was kind of cool.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
How's
it's kind of weird though because the original, like the book, and this is a racial thing, so don't anybody take it the wrong way, but the original book is all a white guy who's like Norwegian or something, so
Mhm.
he's like super duper white, and for them to put Will Smith into it was a big point of contention apparently
Yeah.
when the movie was made. But I mean,
Yeah.
I think he did fantastic. So
he's just a good
whatever.
actor? And
I
One of
love
his
Will
better
Smith
movies.
so much.
I really did like that movie.
I think
Yeah,
his
I don't-
acting more
I
than
don't
his rap.
think
film.
color had anything to do with whether or not he was able to be the character. So,
His
whatever.
son is another story. Not the
It's-
greatest actor, but he's pretty good.
It's being
Wait.
true to the story.
What's his son that was in The Pursuit of Happiness?
Jaden.
Okay, that was
a good
Jaden.
movie. That was a really good.
That was a
movie.
great movie. That was Jaden's best.
I
but
watched
was
that
when he
in
was a child.
in a
He's a good
business
child
class in
actor.
high school, actually.
Well, that other one where they did the like spaceship crash landing, and Jaden was the main one while Will Smith was hurt, waiting on him to save the day.
I was trying to think of the name of that where they went back to Earth, but
I
he
cannot think
like
the name of
couldn't
it.
show fear or whatever, right?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, Jaden sucked in that one.
That's the one I'm thinking of. He was not.
I cannot
You know-
remember the name, but that's because I hated that movie.
watched it.
Jaden.
I only
Jaden's
saw
a
the.
weird guy, but I really like Will and Jada's parent. Like, because they let their kids be weird, and other celebrities are like really strict about like how the image that their kids are putting out.
Yeah.
And Will and Jada are like, yeah, my kids are fucking weird. I love them. I love that they like pull, like, Will Smith all the time is constantly trying to embarrass his son in like red carpets and interviews. And I love that. Like, he's
That's
not doing
really funny to me.
anything crazy or mean. He's just like,
Yeah.
baby, give me a kiss, like trying to kiss his kid. Like, that's some shit like a real caring dad, I feel like, would do. Like, that's
Yeah.
some shit my dad would do to me, like, in a public place. He'd be like, I need some, and I'd be like, I'm 30, stop. Like,
The most recent thing that I've actually seen Jaden Smith in is there's this company called Precious Plastics, and they do like plastic recycling on kind of like an open source level in like third world countries where like plastic waste is a huge problem.
Like
And what they
imported from
do,
other countries.
yeah, also that, but I mean, it's also like their own plastic weights that they just don't have the infrastructure to handle. And what they do is they like take that plastic waste and they build like these cool little open source machines that help them recycle their own plastic and like make it into something else and like actual like useful things. Like they would take like a pop bottle and make it into like a set of coasters or like actual prescription lens frames, stuff like that. And what this relates to Jaden Smith is he recently did a collab with them where they made Jaden like this giant plastic, like huge, like conference table that was like about 10 feet long and weighed 100, I don't know, 200 pounds. I'm not even sure how much it was. Those are huge, so I don't know the exact weight. But yeah, the entire thing was made of recycled plastic, and like he, gave the dropped their name, and yeah, it was pretty fun to see like
he
him
does
do
do a
that.
lot of charity work.
Yeah,
Like, so like I said, he's a weird dude.
he's a cool guy.
But he does a lot of charity work. Like, he put a lot of money and effort towards like the Flint, Michigan water thing.
Yeah.
Was
that the oil thing? I don't remember.
No.
That was the lead in the water.
They had lead in the water because they never replaced their pipes, and it had gotten to such a critical point that it was poisoning everyone there.
I think the Romans had that happen.
But
they thought lead
he
was
like
good for you.
personally was delivering water and stuff. Like, he's a weird dude, but he's a good weird dude. Like,
and like you could argue he's doing it for the clout, but I mean he's bringing actual awareness to it.
I don't think
he's bringing actual awareness to it.
That was part of the problem within Europe why they didn't like tomatoes was they were using lead plates and the tomato was acidic, so they thought tomatoes were poisonous. Because they would eat it, they would give them lead poisoning because it would take up metal from the plate.
Yeah, they built that aqueduct in ancient Rome and then made it out of lead.
Yeah, I think at that point,
lead is super easy and malleable because how low of a temperature it melts.
Not their best idea.
But also allowed it to leach into everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Romans used to use lead compound as a sweetener. Yeah.
Do you want to come say hi?
Yeah, they went crazy for it.
There's a tiny human.
This I got from a
cat.
Reddit like gift exchange thing for Christmas last year.
What is
This
it
is a child.
It's
Hi, Clark.
Hi, Clark.
It's on a magnet.
Hi, they're all saying your name. They said hi.
The One Punch Man poster.
Oh, neat.
Yeah, they're on YouTube.
He's on YouTube.
You're on YouTube. Say hi, chat. Oh, you're gonna be shy now? Are you gonna show him your ducky? What did your ducky come in?
What?
Could you guys hear him? His ducky came in a burrito.
In a burrito?
I didn't think that
Did
was
he get his
possible.
blanket?
Yes, he did get his burrito blanket.
Does he like it?
Do you like your burrito blanket?
Yeah.
Does the blanket have a burrito, or does the blanket look like a tortilla?
It's a
It looks
tortilla.
like a tortilla, and then I wrap him in it, and then he runs
I saw
around
that.
and he's a walking
Yeah.
food. I'll take a picture later. It's super fun. It's super cute because I like fold down the edge and then I fold it around him. And
It was like the first gift you told me about that you were getting him.
right, I ordered it back in like April because I was like, oh yeah, no, this is happening.
Yeah.
And then I found these things called Cuitos, and like you buy them at Walmart and Target and whatnot.
That
and
was
it's
a word.
price. Yeah. Well, it's Cuito. So like any word plus ito in Spanish is like little. So
Yeah.
it's like little cute. But So I found these things, and they're surprise little stuffed animals, almost like Beanie Babies, wrapped in
Yeah.
like a little tortilla blanket of their own. And they're so cute. And so he got a bunch of those.
That's
Because he
fun.
had
Nice.
a burrito birthday. And he had I'll post it in the, hold on. I'm going to send a
Oh.
picture to the chat of the burrito cake we got.
Yes.
Beast,
Although
if you
that-
remind me later, at my parents' house, I have a box of like stuffed animals that I just put down in the basement a long time ago. There's like 4 or 5 of them in there. It's just a box of other stuff. But one of them is an appa from Avatar: The Last Airbender that my parents got me when I was like 7. Yeah, and it's like probably like this big or whatever. I used to use it as a pillow. It's like the original pillow pet.
I want that.
I watched a video yesterday, and I never do this unless it's a song, but I started rewatching it immediately after finishing it. It was
Yeah.
every episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender and The Legend of Korra told
Mhm.
through Vines and TikToks, and
Oh,
it
geez.
was my
Do you have this
favorite
video
thing.
somewhere that I can see?
I
it?
will link it right
Yeah, I
now,
gotta see
but
that.
not before I show what Donna sent us here.
You know, started watching Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Little thumbs up.
rewatched the entire. Oh, that's adorable.
I'm
That
glad
looks
he's
so
watching it. It's
gross,
the
but
best
that's
show.
like a cake.
Yeah, so it's a
Ah.
chocolate, it's a white chocolate chip cake. So that's what makes it look like a tortilla and kind of brown.
It looks like
Uh-huh.
it looks like a
And
It's
breakfast
a foil
burrito.
edible.
Right. So Clark, his favorite kind of burritos are bean and cheese burritos from Taco Bell. So like that's pretty well done, isn't it?
It looks like
Yeah.
a ham and like egg burrito to me.
So it's a chocolate chip roll cake with just like it's regular like vanilla and chocolate frosting, just colored.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And yeah, so we had
That's
fun
awesome,
with
though.
that. So he
I
had a
always
burrito
like food that
birthday.
looks like other food.
My
It's fun.
favorite. I don't. My parents didn't ask me about a cake this year, so I don't know if what they got me. But it's actually a cake from a vegan restaurant that's in our city.
Yeah.
It's like this peanut butter with like a thick like buttercream frosting, but it's all non-dairy and stuff, which is great because
Cool.
dairy upsets my stomach sometimes with
Yeah.
certain things. And like buttercream frosting is like my favorite, like cold buttercream frosting on a cake.
Mm-hmm.
And they have like it's like a peanut butter chocolate cake, and it's the best.
I should look into vegan cakes. I have problems with dairy, but I just
They're
kind of
super easy to make.
Yeah.
My mom made a chocolate cake. My mom's like has this really good chocolate cake recipe that her mom passed down to her, and
Mhm.
everyone in my family loves it except my brother for some reason. I think it's just because it got made too much, and he's like, I want something else. But for 1 year, the cake that she ordered for my brother's birthday, like
Yeah.
the bakery like canceled it or messed it up or something, so we didn't end up getting it. So she made a chocolate cake for him, but forgot to put baking soda in it, so it didn't rise, and it just made like the densest brownies ever, and they were really good. But the cake was supposed to be like probably like this tall or
Okay.
whatever, like a normal cake.
Yeah.
It was like this. It was like this tall.
It's approaching its Schwarzschild radius and starts absorbing the rest of the universe.
Ooh, I could go for
That's
some brownies.
I've got time for brownies.
I've got
Sounds
brownie
good.
like instant brownie mix in my pantry that you. Just
I
put in
linked
the
that
pan.
Avatar video and showed a little bit of it on stream, and I'm already beside myself.
Is that what
Yeah.
you're laughing at there?
Yes, there's
Yes.
that meme of like where the Grinch is at yoga and they're like, just let out all your feelings. He starts screaming. And it was captioned with like an episode where one of the characters had some cathartic experience. And it just summarized the whole fucking episode. And every single clip is like that, and there are like 60 of them. Oh
I
my
need to watch
god.
that again.
I'm not
Avatar.
going to show that because they're Vines,
My
they're
cat's under my
TikToks.
desk.
They don't care about
Yeah.
copyright. I do, but oh my god, I almost watched the video again. I got halfway through it on my right away. Because like
And
they'll
you
take
were like, hold on, podcast.
yeah, like the opening clip is some guy dancing in a blanket, and then
Yeah,
Katara joins, and then Sokka joins, and now there's 3 people in the show, and then it just progresses, and it's like the one that I showed was some kid playing the John Cena with the flutes through his nose, and it was labeled Toph, like when she entered the show.
This is my favorite. One of my favorite episodes.
To those who don't
s-
know, Toph is just like this badass blind girl who's like an
Yeah.
amazing earthbender, and that is just like the perfect intro for her, is blowing John Cena through the nose.
I saw a clip of the or a picture of the show where it's like where they're showing the play in one of the later episodes,
Yeah.
and it's like they predicted the movie because the play's awful.
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw this meme after Katara came out. Have you seen all of the Katara? Not Katara.
I've seen all of
Legend of
Korra.
Korra.
personally.
Korra.
Yeah, Legend of Korra.
Saw
Yeah.
all of
I
Korra.
haven't seen it.
Haven't-
Okay, well, so Toph has kids, but
What's
they
your-
never
Yeah.
mention who the baby daddy is, right?
Right.
Mhm.
So I saw this like several panel little comic about it of like adult Toph and adult Katara standing together, and Katara's, just had a baby, obviously Aang's baby, and Toph was like, I want one of those. I'm gonna make one. And Katara was like, oh, Toph, that's not really how it. And then she like does an earthbending thing, and a baby just pops out. And how that works. So that's how Toph had her kids. She just
Yeah, earthbended them.
Ah,
I think it
Oh,
talks
man.
about how Toph's kids in the there's like 6 comics that you can read after watching the
Mhm.
show, and I'm pretty sure it talks about it in one of them. There's a
There-
cat
Yeah.
on my desk now.
Ear was joking anyway,
Could
but there
tell.
were no spoilers there. It's really
I-
that video. Sorry, real quick for show. That video alone made me want to rewatch the show. Like
Mhm.
it just in 13 minutes unlocked like all of the emotions of watching it the first time again, and it was like, I want to,
Well-
I want to go back. I want to go back.
like currently.
Yeah, I watched the
watching
entire
for
show like right after it got released on Netflix again.
Rochelle, you want to jump in?
Yeah, I just finished reading, like actually it's in like Christmas time around that. But I finished reading the Rise of what's her name?
Skywalker.
Kyoshi. Yeah,
Oh.
the Rise of Kyoshi. And that's like the avatar before like
Yeah.
2 avatars before Aang and
The
such.
one before.
But yeah, it's
Oh.
very, very good. It was a really good book, and I think the next one I pre-ordered it. It's like coming out in either this month or the next month after that, and I'm very excited to read it, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone. Which another thing that I found like kind of follows in the spirit of like Avatar: The Last Airbender, because it was made by the same people that wrote the show, was The Dragon Prince. I binged watched it.
I
over
watched
the
it.
course
It's
of this
so
weekend.
good.
It
Oh,
is
so good.
amazing.
It's already got 2
I
seasons too,
love
and they're making more of it.
Oh,
Oh,
Also,
Yeah,
I'm blushing now.
Rosa?
HP called
It's
me
on
cute in the
Netflix.
chat, and I'm
3
I'm
seasons.
blushing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a Netflix. Oh yeah,
there's 3
that's what it was.
seasons.
The third one's short though, I think.
I really like.
There's what was that, Han? I missed the entire thing.
The third season's short. It's only like 8 episodes, I think, compared to the rest, which
Yeah.
is like 18 or 20 or 8 or 24.
It was very good. I loved that so
I
much.
didn't watch all of the Dragon Prince, but I was really excited, and a lot of the communities that I'm in was really excited because they had the deaf character, and they actually had pretty good signing for an
Yeah.
Yeah.
animation.
Yeah, no, it was. If you know
I
sign
thought
language, you
Yeah,
understand it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I thought that was super cool. Every time she was on like in scene, I thought of you. And like
I thought her assistant was
I was
great
just thinking,
too.
if you hadn't seen this, I would recommend it to you to watch just because
Right?
of that.
No, like the deaf community. Like I'm not super involved with them, but I am a little bit, especially through my studies and whatnot.
Mhm.
They like freaked out over it because like there's really no deaf representation in like popular animation for the kids. Like it's just not there, and especially not one that's signing. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like they dealt with it in such a real way too. You know, like I mean, they had her interpreters there. They had characters that could like work with her to understand what the point she was
it
trying
was
to get
really
across.
realistic.
They
Yeah,
never
was-
they never tried to put subtitles under what she was saying either.
Yeah.
Like, they just
I,
let
I actually liked that a lot.
Mhm.
But yeah.
her interpreter in the beginning of the show is like one of my favorite characters from the entire show because he gets chained up and is just stuck on this wall for like the first 2 seasons. And he's and they're like,
He just
"How
has
you
the best
doing?"
attitude.
He's like, "I'm doing good." He's like, "Why are you so happy?" He's like, "It could be a lot worse."
I
Another
could be
really
that
great
guy.
thing about that character, not the interpreter, but the
Mhm.
deaf commander, is that they didn't make her seem disabled, which is something that the
Yeah.
deaf community really
Yeah,
struggles
she was like the most powerful
She was
person.
badass.
Right.
Yeah.
She was so
Right.
cool.
with. Is that anytime there is any sort of deaf representation, it's always like perceived like they're super disabled. The deaf community has a saying, they can do anything but hear. So like
Yeah.
they're not like these frail little things. Like they can fight, they can
Yeah.
They did the
do
same thing with Toph. That was a great segue because she was the blind character and just casually like, this is not just my opinion, like
Oh
literally
yeah,
the
she was definitely the top of the
like
show.
the best earthbender of all time, like literally invented metal bending because she wanted to.
I mean, that was to her advantage.
And it was like because she couldn't see, she was all the more connected to the earth. And that's ironically, she saw more than anybody because she could see anywhere where the earth was connected, and it was like, damn, that's a hell of a take on a blind character.
I saw a little highlight video of every time a character in Avatar tried to show off a piece of paper, or like,
There it is. What? That's what it sounds like when one of you sees it.
Yeah.
Yes, that was when they were looking for the library in the desert as they're flying on Appa. She's like, "Oh, I see it." And they're like, "Oh, where?" And they're like,
"Oh."
She's like,
"That's what I would imagine you would sound like if you did."
She's like, "I'm blind, you fucking idiot."
They had some of the same
Well, it
jokes.
sounds like a piece of paper.
Right.
Or
They
when
had
she's
a-
like, I'll take the belt back and it just hits her in the head.
They had a blind character in the Dragon Prince as well. He was a pirate and he had a seeing eye parrot, which was hilarious. And like it was like land ho is like that's what it would have sounded like if I saw the land. It was so funny.
He's like, I can smell it.
And then like they had another scene where like the voice actor for the main character is also the voice of Sokka, and he was so good. But like there was like this boomerang looking thing, and like he just had like this strange fixation on the boomerang. He was like, I feel drawn to it somehow. It was so
Was
good.
that a callback to him playing Sokka? That's awesome.
There were a couple like callback type things.
I love that.
It was so good. Have you seen that show yet?
The Dragon Prince?
Okay.
I've never heard of it.
That's the next thing you need to watch.
Well, I told you about it a while ago, but then
I didn't know it
think
was the
just kinda got
same
lost.
deal.
Yeah, you need to watch it. The first season animation is a little choppy, but after the first episode, you'll get over it. And I mean, I
didn't even notice it. I was watching on my phone though, so I didn't.
A lot of these guys got to get through the pilot before they actually really start the work.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, after Avatar, and
I feel
Korra,
bad
that
for
was.
Sid because he hasn't watched any of these, but then again, that's his fault.
No, he's chosen to. We've been raving about it for months now. He's had plenty of time.
That's what. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
I started.
He started. No, with Avatar, Aang and Korra, those two shows are just like easily my top fives. Like both of them are in there. I mean, of all time, or top 10 maybe is a little safer to say because those shows were just great.
Gano just addressed it, and I wanted to make sure I remembered that. Rosa.
Yeah.
Fendi said he got the cup. He showed a picture of it in the Discord and said, I got it for Rosa, and I don't want it. But now he hasn't been responding.
Yeah.
So if anybody knows how to get in touch with him, message him and tell him to fucking get in touch with Rosa.
Right. Yeah. I heard that he posted in the Discord. I looked it up and I was like, oh, sweet. And I messaged him and he hasn't messaged me back. So
it's very strange.
Huh.
I was looking forward to having it for my birthday.
It'll have to be a belated.
I think they would have allowed that anyway.
I mean, if he got it like almost.
Someone banned potty mouth Sig. Yeah, there's no fucking swearing around your fiber. I'm sorry about that. I'll give him a talking to.
Oh, but this was my one birthday present. Is my best friend got me a hydro flask, and I already put stickers all over it.
Nice.
Oh.
Beast, did you try any of those GamerSub packets you got yet?
Not yet. Got it right here.
Oh, Rosa.
That's what the shaker cup is. It's the official one.
That's very cool. Okay. So I have this pattern here that I was going to make for you in acrylic. So I have it. I'm about to print it off.
Oh, did you find your email?
Yes. I don't know. I just like it wasn't marked as important, and I get a lot of spam because I'm lazy and don't clean out my email. So that was entirely my fault for missing it.
Surprised you checked your email.
Sorry. I know. I'm surprised too, honestly. Let me print out.
And then he accused me of not sending it.
I know. I feel so bad. I'm sorry.
He's such a busy man's man, always in the shop kind of guy. Like, I don't think he checks emails.
I wouldn't give him
off over 100 things
if he hadn't attempted to give me a hard time about it.
Yeah,
If
but
he-
yeah, he actively said you didn't send it, and I was like, yes, she did.
Right.
She sent it the day of.
I
he was
know.
like,
I'm so sorry.
or I didn't
Me
check my
too.
email, I would have been like, oh yeah, okay. But he was like, you didn't send it.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be so aggressively.
Always safe to assume the
Aggressive.
person you're talking to knows more
Yeah,
than you do, whatever
probably.
the topic is.
I know. I forgot that for a second, and it just bit me.
I've learned that, especially on YouTube, where everybody's smarter than I am. 95% of the time, that's not the case. But hey, that 5% of the time, I'm real glad I played it dumb.
Yeah.
You're wrong no matter what. So
Yeah, my comment section's a lot nicer than Reddit usually is. People aren't usually always smarter than I am, like quote unquote, but I get the odd guy here and there who thinks I didn't do any research before the video. So you just assume they know more than you. Very often I'm right, so it's a good stance to take. But if I'm wrong, then so what? I've got nothing to prove. I already made the video.
People were posting comments about things that were talked about in the video before they could have finished watching the video.
That's my favorite thing. I know it too. Whenever I mention something important in like the third section of the fourth, if a video is cut into fourths, if I put in like the third fourth of the video, I'm like, nobody's gonna make it that far. I'm gonna hear about this a lot, and I do. On that Survivor Squads video, people are like, "How do I get Survivor XP? What's the best way to get Survivors?" I'm like, "You didn't make it till 10 minutes, did you? You just couldn't make that last little bit, huh?"
And I gotta say, I am guilty of doing that.
It's a 15-minute video, and you got 12 comments in the first 3 minutes of it being live.
Unless they just say first.
right,
Mhm.
of course.
I love all the people that are like the fourth one that's like first. It's like,
That happened last night because Han told me.
Comments.
Han encouraged me to post something just right at midnight, which is what I did, and it was only a 4-minute video, but I got all these comments about people who just like must have hit pause and scroll down.
it did really well for how late you posted it. I haven't looked at it since then, but it was doing really well last
I
night.
have it up right
So
now.
like
Yeah,
what, like 400
5,100
views
right
in the
now.
first 20 minutes? Yeah.
5,100. I mean, it performed. Believe it or not, that's actually like literally right down the middle of how my videos usually do. But I'm glad, even at midnight, it's
For a 3.5-minute video.
Right.
unscheduled, unannounced.
Oh, wrong
So-
printer selected. That's
Oh,
Real quick,
nice.
though.
You have more than one printer to. Okay, what?
Chriselle addressed that he found the template things, that he's going to print her out a template or cut out a template for Rosa. But y'all haven't actually seen the masks. Like, you haven't seen the product, the end product.
They're super cool.
I messaged Rosa, what was that, a week and a half ago?
Yeah.
And asked if he would make some masks for me,
Mm-hmm.
and purchased a handful of them from her.
What just happened?
And
Don't worry about
I
it.
received them.
I love that green.
That's cool.
It doesn't get as much love as I was hoping it would when I bought it.
So,
And
it's
they are
like an
actually
almost
really
camo.
well made.
Mhm.
I can see this holding up for a long, long time.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy with the end product. Thank you very much for doing such
I
a
worked
job.
really hard. Did you you got the green one and then a games one, right?
I got the
Mhm.
the other one was a material that I don't know how well that's going to come through on the camera.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really neat.
Oh,
Isn't
that's cool. It's old consoles. Yeah.
It's a bunch of
Mobile
one's
consoles
just a
and
bunch
stuff.
of gamer paraphernalia on it, basically.
Mm-hmm.
No, that actually shows up just fine, at least on my end.
Okay. It is now printed, and I. Okay.
Perfect.
This is the one that I kind of wish you had just shifted just a little bit further to one side, so that didn't even end up on the mask, though.
No, Battle Royale is a subgenre. It doesn't need to be Fortnite.
It is a
Yeah,
sub-
but it's like in the Fortnite text though.
But it's still the subgenre that I don't
the first,
fucking play.
to be fair, the first battle royale that I ever participated in was on a Minecraft server. It was
Minecraft
a
Hunger Games.
Minecraft Hunger Games was the first battle royale I was ever acquainted with. Like, so
Yeah, well, I didn't do that one either.
I
Oh,
can do you one better. Minecraft Hunger Games is what got me into PC gaming.
And
Like
I
I
played
saw
PUBG
the
a couple times, and the only person that actually killed me was someone on my team.
yeah, I saw Captain Sparkle's videos in like the Hunger Games, like the original one, and I'm like, I want to play Minecraft. Like that's what got me into Minecraft. So I got it following Christmas.
Yeah.
Got a new
I think
game?
the giant Star Trek 1-to-1 scale replica is what got me into Minecraft.
I used to watch like the rage videos where you'd go through like the builds and stuff, and then do the build
Yeah.
challenge
Classic.
at the end. Those were great. I used to love those videos so much. I went back and like looked at his channel more recently to see if he still did
Mhm.
them.
So do you want like separate templates?
That girl can mute you. Bye bye.
Oh wow. Damn.
What?
Wow.
I
He
missed it.
commented and was like, "Can you mute that girl? She's annoying." So I muted him.
Got some rude people
What's-
on the
What-
podcast.
no,
Jeez.
go ahead, Chriselle. What
Yeah,
else?
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So Rosa,
sorry.
Yes.
it's okay. Do you want 3 of these like for like individual sizes or
If you wouldn't mind, I'd really like that. That would
Okay.
be really fantastic.
no?
If
That's
you
really
only
good.
want to make one, just make the
Mhm.
adult size, I guess.
How the
Okay.
turntables.
I could do 3. That's not bad. So
Well,
yeah,
are they gonna fit on your printing board?
I'm not going to print them. I'm
cut 'em
going
out
to
of
cut them out.
Oh.
Do you want them out of acrylic or wood? Which do you prefer?
Either or, because right now we're using cardboard and that wears away as
Yeah.
we trace over it, and wood or acrylic wouldn't fade away like
And-
that.
Okay. And then do you want a like negative where it's just this part cut out, or do you want like a outline of it?
Oh, that's totally up to you. However you want to
Okay.
do that. I don't.
So I'll have these shapes in plywood. Would that
Well-
work for you?
Yeah.
Or okay, I can do that super easy.
Great.
That'll,
He's like,
that'll
yeah,
take me a little bit. I'm excited.
We,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
excited.
fun for me.
Excited.
we slid past the fun idea to literal specifics getting sussed out on stream.
I'm sorry. It's just like we work through these things just in the moment. And
In the, I mean, the idea just happens, you know, one
Yeah.
step at a time,
You
all at
know,
once.
Today it is Han's birthday.
Yeah,
Tom's birthday.
Yep.
and it's
for
like
everyone
a late
watching that it-
Donna
is
birthday
on-
too.
That's true.
Oh yeah, yes, Rosa did.
Oh,
have a
yeah.
birthday.
And an early B's birthday.
Yeah, an
Mm,
early my birthday, but
Very
very early.
Actually, I think I looked up when the show was gonna land. I think it'll be the day before my birthday.
It'll be the 14th.
That's doable.
That'd be the 29th.
There
Yeah,
you
so
go.
we also next week when we have Bexy on, you know, little teaser there. That'll be a day after her birthday, if I recall her telling me that correctly.
Yay.
So
Wait, is it Natalie's and Pronoob's birthday today too?
I have no idea.
Not sure.
We got to get a birthday calendar for everyone.
We
involved.
really do. We,
We
need
could
to get
make it so easily too. Like it
Yeah.
wouldn't be that hard.
someone needs to get that.
Oh, Tactical Bombers is tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm not
Whatever
taking
that
on that
is.
task.
No, Han just volunteered for it.
No, I'll do it
Yeah.
if we can get everyone's birthday. I can put it on there. It's not hard.
What are we doing?
Birthday.
Everybody's birthdays,
make a
if they
birthday
wanna
sheet.
put it in.
I mean, I could
That
just make it and people could input their own birthday. Like I wouldn't. All I have to
Is
do
a
is put
n-
the.
Ooh, a
dates.
birthday bot? Where every
Well, I don't
user
know how
gets
to-
to set a birthday?
Not a bot.
I can
but
set it up
like
as a
Google
spreadsheet that the bot
Calendar.
can read, but I don't know how to do the bot itself. I can
Right.
make the spreadsheet so they can read it.
Okay.
That's a
I
rabbit
made
hole
2
I'm not
more.
touching with a
I'll
10-foot
print
pole.
Like I said, or if you could just get everyone's birthdays, you could just have like a Google Calendar and have everybody's birthday input. And during the shows, we could be like, "Oh, this is whose birthdays it was," and we could limit it to like Minerva members so that we didn't have, like 8,000 people.
That would be 62.
Oh, did you think I was
91.
gonna get the entire Discord's birthday?
Right.
That's
That's
not.
not
That sounds chaotic.
Yeah, assuming standard distribution, we'd have 17 birthdays a day.
Yeah.
right.
That
Oh,
gets
But yeah,
to be
no.
a bit
Also,
much.
no. The problem would be more of people just trolling the sheet and putting their
Yeah.
birthday everywhere.
Right. So no, they wouldn't
Yeah.
have control of the sheet. Like we would have to
No.
have sort of
Well, even how many members are there at this point, Beast?
60.
Several.
Well, I was at 6291, yeah. Which is absurd, by the way. We hit 6,000 last week.
Woo.
Yeah,
That's unbelievable. That's
it is
amazing.
going very fast. I keep mentioning it in my videos, which I think I'm going to stop doing.
Mhm.
Because that's...
Yeah, 'cause now people think it's a Fortnite Discord.
That's been working too well. I didn't think that many people would join.
I mean, to be fair, it's like 50-50 at this point.
At this point, I'm like, who kept inviting all these... Oh, shit.
Oh, that was me. I'm
I-
directly
it-
responsible.
It used like you only mention it now during streams if someone asks about it, basically, or asks about something that the Discord
is
helpful
common.
for. But it used to be like all the time where you'd be like just randomly you just plug it, like join
Mhm.
the Discord, guys. Now you never do that anymore.
if somebody asks, well, honestly, people ask enough to where I don't feel the need to just randomly bring it up. I mean, it
Yeah,
gets
that's what I'm
linked
saying, like,
literally
it
like
just-
6 times an hour. Every 10 minutes, there's like, oh yeah, link in chat, link in chat. I have a whole button on the
like, how-
stream deck.
can I
You know,
get-
link in chat.
Basically, every time someone is the "Can I play?" just like
So
go to
that's
Discord.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Stream deck didn't send it to the.
There it goes.
Oh, there.
Slow.
Oh, okay. Yeah, stream deck's been kind of laggy recently. I don't know. I've had to restart the program a couple times.
You should just give it to me.
Griffin's up to something. Sends the
Who?
angry smiley face in chat. Anytime anybody sends that, they're scheming. 100%.
Yeah.
I actually I see a duck every time someone sends that face.
Oh
'Cause
god.
It just looks like a duck with an open bill.
It's
I don't know why, but that's just what I see.
Huh.
Like looking to the left.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
see that.
Okay.
Oh
Or
wow, that just
looking
ruined it for me. There you go.
Wow, thanks, Han.
I don't
It'll
know.
never be the same.
I used to like. It's funny the way I learned to like type fast is from playing on Minecraft, just like typing in the chat. Because like that's the only time I ever had to use the keyboard when I was younger. So faces were used all the time and that kind of thing, and like that one I never saw as an angry face when people would use it. I always just saw it as a duck.
It really fucked me up for a long time when somebody finally pointed out to me that LOL looked like a guy with his arms straight up, head and 2 arms.
Yeah.
And I was just like, fuck, now I'm never gonna unsee that. You know, every fucking time I see LOL.
One of my buddies, whenever I asked him, "Hey, what are you doing tonight?" he would say "lol,"
Wow.
and I don't know why. I
Did
just
he not know what
thought
it
he was
meant?
just laughing at me, but
Right.
he was actually playing League of Legends
Oh,
all the time.
I got
Don't
royally
buy my
fucked up
shirt.
when I was playing Black Ops 2 back on Xbox, and Viral was in passing talking to somebody in a Discord call, and they were just playing with their cocks, just asking about it. Like, yeah, are you playing cock today? I was like, Clash of Clans. I was like,
When you said that, I knew what it was because my people in my middle school would do that to mess with the teachers. Like, dude, you want to play cock?
They were unironically just like, yeah, are you playing cock? I'm like, what? What are you talking about?
They knew what they were saying.
They knew
Oh,
exactly
absolutely.
what they were saying.
Anyone that says "lol" instead of League of Legends, like, is just doing it to mess with people.
Yeah, he was messing with me. I didn't even
Well,
consider that.
he
was
might not have
something.
been. Like, he might have thought you played it or something at that point.
Yeah,
I remember
Right,
when I was
yeah,
younger.
I always just call it League.
yeah.
A friend of mine wanted to play Modern Warfare 2. He's like, yeah, you looking to play some Mod 2? I was like, no, we're not going to be. That's
Modern
not going to be
Warfare
a thing.
2.
Yeah, Modern Warfare 2, MW2,
Or
not
MW2,
Mod 2.
yeah.
We're
Like,
not
stop
gonna-
trying to make it a thing.
Literally nipped it in the bud. He never said it again. He just killed that right there.
I will block you.
What was it?
No, this was IRL back when like I interacted
Well,
with people
RL, I
face
was
to
about to
face.
say, is a thing because Rocket League is RL. So people would say, I'm gonna go play RL. It's like, you're gonna go play real life. What do you do?
Oh,
That's not a fun
like
game.
baseballs? Oh man.
I
What were you
probably
saying, Sig?
reminded Donna she had to go check on her cock.
I think one of my favorite memes of recent history is the one where it's a picture of like somebody's yard outside when it's foggy, and it's
Yeah.
like, turn up your render distance.
Yeah. I think Rosa missed the Clash of Clans thing before.
No,
No,
I know.
I caught the
She
end
caught
of it.
that right as she hit it.
Okay.
I was
Right,
saying
I
that,
heard-
yeah, no, she forgot. She had to go grab her phone. I had to go check on her
I
cock.
thought
I hadn't
that's
played
why you
Clash of
just
Clans
left.
forever.
No, I drank this whole thing of coffee and then
Uh-oh.
like most thing of water. And I don't know if you guys realize how big I am, but this is like my entire torso.
Yeah.
So right here is my hip bone. Right here is
Okay.
my hip bone. Okay. So
Oh, she is tiny.
the-
How about the
No,
She's
camera's
like
angled?
5'2".
You don't have enough bladder for all that.
no, I don't have enough bladder.
It looked like an
Yeah.
emergency. Like, oh, I've sprung a leak. I need to.
I didn't see her get up. I looked away.
This is
I was
gonna be a
looking at either Michelle or Beast, whoever was talking at the time, and I looked back down. She was gone. There's just
Right.
a chair, and
Yeah.
her chair was like slowly spinning.
Yeah, when the podcast died, Ira had asked me if I had
Yeah.
opened my window and let the Wi-Fi escape. And she's trying that one again. Very proud of that one. She must be.
Yeah,
Well,
it's a good joke.
That's
Good
well,
job,
that's
Ira.
yeah. It's from or the first time I ever saw it was from a leak screenshot where the guy had like 800 ping or 900 ping, and that like he pinged it like 4 or 5 times
Shut
because
your window. You're letting the Wi-Fi out.
yeah, and then his ping went down to 56 or whatever. Which because League has a great feature where it lets you ping to show your ping in the chat. So that way, if you're like I'm like blaming it on lag, they're like,
Oh, you're
fine,
not a
ping your
bad
lag.
player.
Yeah, ping your lag or else you're
Yeah.
lying. Because everyone can say they're lagging, but if
Right.
you can prove
Oh,
it in
that's
that game.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my god, I'm lagging. You got 30 millisecond ping there. That doesn't say so.
Yeah, on the tab menu on League, it doesn't show your ping, or it didn't used to at least. I don't think it still does.
That happens on Fortnite with me. Like, I'll be bitching about frames and say that, like, oh no, this is trash.
Yeah,
People are like, you're at like 100 FPS. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. This is. I was down to 60 the other day and it looked like a slideshow. But
yeah, that was when Ben's had the tire traps.
I think
He made a whole wall of tire traps.
there's a process running on my computer. I killed it, fixed it right up.
Oh.
Yeah. Speaking of watching slideshows, I tried to pop into Han's stream the other day while he was playing that racing game, and
Sig,
Use the back of your chair.
Sig didn't follow, didn't do anything, dropped 5 subs, said like one thing like 10 minutes later, as I like said, I'm assuming you can't watch the stream or whatever, and then left.
I couldn't. I tried. I wanted to watch. I wanted to hang out for a little bit, but no. My
I can
internet
try
was
to
like,
set it up so you can watch it. I have no idea how to do it though.
well, recently I saw when I dropped in for a second that you had it available where I could
Thanks for
change it down to
stopping
like
in.
480p or
Appreciate you
whatever.
hanging
Yeah,
out.
it might have been because that was the first stream that I had affiliate that
We'll
it wasn't
chat
letting me
later.
do it.
Yeah. So because the first one I checked and it said source and it said 1080p and that was the only options that were available and I was like, well,
Yeah, because it's streaming at 1080 or 1080 60.
God, why does Twitch make it so absurdly difficult to find somebody I'm following? This is
What are you trying to do?
I'm just trying to
Exactly.
check in on Skulls and see if he made it to 24 hours. And because he
Oh,
has
he was doing a 24-hour stream?
X skull. I don't remember how he types it. I've never paid
See,
that close
I
attention.
never go through that. I always just
it's
type in their
X
name.
underscore skulls X.
I've pulled up my
Underscore
follow
X.
page and I'm just control Fing for Skulls. If you ever have to control F, by the way, your site isn't set up properly. All right, here he is. Yeah, 24 hours. The motherfucker made it. God damn.
There you go.
24, 12, 48. Oh, they're all factors of each other. That is beautiful.
Which it was really funny because last night Beast popped in. He's like,
12,
I didn't know
24,
Skulls was
48.
streaming when I hosted you. Because Skulls was in the chat with him when he ended his stream.
I hope there was 96 milliseconds when he killed it there. All right. That's.
Sure there was.
I'm sure it was. I'll hope and believe. It's at 364 followers.
Yeah, I saw him. I popped into his stream this morning. Like I had gotten up and I was getting on my computer for a minute, and I was like, "Oh, Skulls is on. What is he doing on? He's not a morning person." And he's not.
He's still a night person.
Yeah.
The day I got high enough power to do Storm King, me and Skulls were trying to do it like because it was just the two of us. We didn't have like anyone else to help us at all. We did it for like 8 hours, like just continuously trying to do it. And before that, for like 4.5 hours, we were doing like storm defenses and like missions.
Did I catch that right? 8 hours on the Storm King?
Yeah, like either 6 or 8 hours we spent trying to do it the first time because it was just the two of us. And I was only power level 100.
Yeah, you're trying to figure it out.
Been there, done that. Ben, Skulls, and I, and then random people from chat. Just, I think it took us 12 hours over 2 days to get that first one down.
After we had like Skulls managed to get finally 2 131s or whatever from the chat, and we managed to do it like the first time once we had them both. But we had No Cool and Tempest I think for a while, and we were just having problems with it.
Yeah, it was some random guy from chat, George, and the dude nailed it. Like literally the first time we pulled him in, he was the missing piece of the puzzle, and we.
That's what
knocked it
happened
out.
with us because we had this one guy that was 131, and then he's like, I got a friend that's really good at this, and like you can pull him. First mission with that friend, that guy like kunai'd and like did the horn by himself basically.
Yeah, I mean sometimes it just takes like one person who's not burnt out from trying or knows what they're doing or whatever, and.
And it was all new to me too,
Mhm,
like
yeah.
when we were doing that.
Oh,
I
we
was
were.
very familiar by the end. and then later in the day I did it again with you, like first try. Oh yeah, it was first try actually.
We were, yeah, we were. Well, it was day 2 of the Storm King's release, so very few people had even finished it at all. So I'm proud to say we were on the right track. We all had Lynxes. We knew that we needed Warcry well before anybody actually beat it. Like, we were doing it right. We just, yeah, got a bad start. It felt like, I felt like shit thinking that, like, people had already beat it before I had even started to try getting mythic weapons. I was like, God damn it. Like, we had all the components to beat it first try. And Chriselle, are you getting drunk?
No.
Yeah.
He just took like half a shot. He took like half a shot. Your face
not-
when you just did that. Is that bitters in there?
Not yet.
No, this is just tequila, and yeah, it's very strong tequila.
Zig's eyeing that right now, just thinking about Fortnite talk. Like, yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I need to make it through this, guys.
I have not looked in any of the Fortnite channels in like 3 days.
How's it feel? You have a little vacation there.
Just said, you know what? Fuck them. Let them
Oh,
go.
mods are great. They've been really
If
handling
they
it.
come out into the other channels, I'll slap them the fuck back.
They
into
really
there.
do just like pour out. You'll see like a different Fortnite question and like, no, no, and then you crack a whip.
It's like, just make it so I can't even see the channels at this
We have a
point.
channel for that.
No.
Yeah,
I'll go back to helping moderate it, but I just could not for a while.
no, it's been getting taken care of.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, when was the last time you
But-
have drank, Sig? Seems like you really got that handled.
I don't know,
Wow.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, if you have to
Alright,
think
Sig
about it, that's all I need. Wow.
Did you consider yourself an alcoholic before?
No.
Oh,
There was like a couple month patch where he was just stressed a lot.
Well, I mean,
and-
anyone that drinks
Got a
like
lot going
anything is
on.
considered an alcoholic in B-sides, because.
And I like to see that through. Because at the time, it was easy to recognize that there was an issue. But now it's fun to say, like, hey, look, he got past it, and he's doing good now. Wow, somebody just got banned. Or kicked, at least. Oh, the bot
What?
correctly identifies when people get kicked from the server instead of just leaving. That's cool. Good on
Yes.
Redstone Games.
Yeah, Redstone and I were working on that the other day.
That would be
because I-
fantastic if we write a ban message, if it showed up in the log, like in the... We have a text channel
Right.
for comes and goes. Mods can see it. I like it to be private when people join a server. We used to have a ping, which was fun, but people didn't like that. I saw a couple of people join, ping about their arrival, and then they'd be like, oh, shit, and then leave.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
They're like, I wanted to lurk.
And of course,
As-
now it
as-
happens so often.
Way
that-
into the darkness.
Yeah, she really just
always
kind of
working on
disappeared.
Whereas if you like go like lean back in your chair and then just come forward.
That's how
just,
she
like,
should end
appear out
the
of darkness.
podcast. Just like turn off all our monitors and fade into black.
If you like put your hair over your glasses, you just won't see anything
know,
because all
just
that's
like,
really picked up
"See
is
you
the white.
And just throw it in a smoke bomb.
Just- Goodbye.
But yeah, no, Redstone and I've been working toward getting the bot to handle all the things that the other bots were handling, or new features that we want the bot to handle and stuff.
Yeah.
And Red has been phenomenal. It's been great.
Yeah. Phantom
I
Blizzard
can't
just
thank
left. A name I recognize. That's a bummer.
Oh. Is it?
He might be like watching the podcast knowing I'm seeing this channel, but whenever there's a name I recognize, it's always like, oh.
I did want to make sure I
Alright.
said that though. But I can't thank Redstone enough for all the hard work he's put toward.
Oh,
making
Nanny
this
joined
bot.
back. 100%. He's talking to me through this. He just said, "Yep." He knows I'm eyeing this channel. It's a good channel to park on because I know I can show this on stream and like it's not
be
private.
safe.
It's just names. I mean, it doesn't even show tags. How do you become a
Big ol'
YouTuber? Make a
I
video,
still,
upload it, and then do that
And
again
that's
for like a bunch of years, and then
there was a stream where you were like, let's click on a safe channel in Discord, and you clicked on the movies and stuff channel, and Chaser
Pornhub
just
link.
put in like a porn movie.
Oh no.
I might have been the one to link that one actually. But it was.
I don't know. I just remember that you
Who could
literally
say?
said, "What's a safe channel to click on?" and that was the one you chose.
We were watching Avatar, and there was a spicy Latino girl, and we were like, wonder what she looks like. Oh yeah, sure enough.
Wow.
It was important information, and it
What-
needed to be shared.
PSA.
Might need to be sent that later.
Anyone who wants to watch Avatar:
think
The
I
Last
deleted the
Airbender on Netflix, it will recommend you to watch the movie when you're done. Do yourself a favor,
Don't.
click on the movie. No, click on the movie, dislike it, and then move on.
Oh yeah, that's valid. So it stops
Yeah,
recommending.
okay, that's fair.
Off
Yeah.
the
The
dislike,
movie-
stop recommending it.
Just wait for the live action Netflix show or whatever is coming out when it does, and just
What
my
show?
expectations are tremendously low. So I've been hurt too many times.
What?
I don't think Avatar is meant to be live action.
I was about to say I don't think they should try to do live action.
Appa looks
again.
pretty good.
Okay, that's important.
I think
yeah.
as long as they actually follow the story and they don't whitewash the fuck out of everyone.
Yeah,
I can call
that's
him
the
Aang
main
instead
two
of-
things.
How about they call him Aang instead of Ong? That'd be
Right.
Oh
helpful.
my gosh,
How
that
do you
was
get
the
the
worst.
How do you get the pronunciation wrong? It's not like it's a novel. The names are said.
I mean, to be fair, it still followed M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong's sort of way of making movies where it's a twist. And the twist was it was a
shit.
beloved show that he destroyed and made you hate. Except he
Mhm.
didn't. He just
They
made
mispronounced
the movie.
Aang in the movie.
It's pronounced Ong.
And
It's pronounced
I'll tell
Ong in
you
the
the
movie.
worst part about the movie was they stopped any potential production of a fourth season.
You know, even through the lag, he got it out.
The thing with the
because
Uh-oh.
Oh, it's still going.
Pritchell, we've lost you. We've lost you to the internet
the
overlords.
third season was heavily rushed. It was supposed to have twice as many episodes as it was, but it was rushed because the movie was so bad.
Beast,
Wait,
you
what?
never saw
What?
The third season was rushed because of it as well.
What about
Yeah.
me?
You haven't
Yeah.
the movie?
I've not seen the movie.
Good, don't.
Okay, I'll do a comparison for you. Ready Player One and
All right,
Ready
say
Player
no more.
One.
Say no more.
It's worse. It's
worse than
way
that.
worse.
Yeah, except imagine the novel having been done really well in an animated series, and then just turned into that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't dislike many movies, and that is my number one most hated movie by far. And I didn't like it when I saw it. I don't think I've ever gone to a movie. Like, I really just enjoy movies as they are. Like, I've always been that kind of person. Like, it's content. It's something that's fun to watch. It doesn't need to be good for anything else. It just needs to be fun to watch at the time. I went to that movie and I couldn't watch the whole thing. Like, I just hated it the whole time.
I was so excited for it.
Yeah, I was too, because the marketing
We
team did a
all
great
were.
job. They didn't let you hear anything about it, about it in the commercials or anything like that for it. They just they went off basically the show because the show was still airing at the time.
Yeah.
I got lucky in my Ready Player One movie viewing with my dad because we were in an empty theater
Yeah.
where I could just vent.
You just sit there and go, "Oh, come on!"
They changed
would they do that?
everything.
They literally changed everything. So that's why I
No.
think if you just look at Ready Player One as just a random movie that happens to have the same name, it's a pretty good movie.
It's a
That's
really
what I was
enjoyable to
about to
watch
say.
movie.
Fun to watch.
I could understand if you never knew anything about the novel at all, enjoying the
Like-
movie somewhat at least.
Have
It
you
wasn't
seen
great.
Ender's Game and read the book, Beast?
No.
I have.
you seen-
Yeah.
I
Like
feel like
Ender's
I've read
Game,
the
the
book.
movie is good.
I'm not
The
sure.
book is fantastic. The movie doesn't really give the book justice, but the movie is still a good movie.
It is.
I like the
Right.
movie. I've
But the-
rewatched it actually.
Ender's Game, I've watched
Yeah.
it twice. You should
Yeah.
see the problem with the movie is that it ruins the twist at the end of the book, which is a huge twist at the end of the book. And they go way more into it in the book than they do in
Yeah.
the movie, obviously. But you can't really read the book like afterwards. I don't know. It feels like a waste of time almost to put that much time into a twist like that at the end of it.
Yeah.
That's an old enough thing where we can talk about the ending, right?
Honestly, it's such a big
Ender's
twist.
Game?
I wouldn't even talk about it.
Really? That's
And
where
it's one of those
To me,
weird ones
because
that
I only read the book in high school because a lot like later in high
Yeah,
school.
I'm a huge fan of not spoiling things for people. and
I would highly
for that
recommend not
having
talking
been
about the
so
ending
long
'cause-
ago.
I'm one of
there
those
are still
people.
There are still people who are going to read the novel as it required reading in school,
yeah,
and they're
it was
they're
that's
gonna
what it
go
was
on
for me was
to
required
have
reading.
have never seen it. So yeah,
I've always
I'd
been the
probably-
opposite. I feel like spoilers don't exist.
Okay, well, if you want to talk about something real quick, there's this book called Prey. It is fantastic. I don't know if any of you read it. It's about have you remember like CloudNet or whatever, like the AI is going to take over the world kind of thing. Well, it's about this microbot factory which was making these things, and then there's this whole thing in it basically. It's a fantastic book, highly recommended. It super reminds me of Ender Game, like just the way it's written and the way it like plays through. But on Earth, it's really good.
Hmm.
I have my teacher didn't printed out like the entire book on pages of paper, so you could keep the book if you wanted to, so you can make notes in it. So I have like it's a pretty long book, and he didn't double-sided either. So I have like, I don't know, probably a couple hundred pages, just a full paper sheet that he printed out these books for.
He did that for every student, or
Any student that wanted a book that they could keep,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So
Oh,
I think
wow.
like, but this was my Cisco class, so there was 15 kids in the class.
Oh,
So
okay.
maybe 8 of us had the book. He had
Yeah.
more of them made, but they were for like years to come.
I'm just imagining him just there next to
Dude,
the photocopier,
just,
just
like,
standing there
like-
for 5 hours, just
He
like,
had-
go ahead and put another ream in. Okay, next one.
He had a laser printer, one of the like big laser printers.
Oh,
His
yeah.
like one of the $500 ones. Just that was his own, so it wasn't wasting ink or anything. Well, it uses ink, but it doesn't
Yeah.
use the same. You just pour a fucking jug of ink in there.
Yeah.
My middle school librarian would decommission books out of the library to give them to me.
I have.
I've got
I
a
was
couple.
very
decommissioned
bad
library
about
books.
giving books back to teachers after I was done reading them. I have a collection of books that say like belongs to this school, and I'm like, no, it doesn't. It's mine
Not
now.
anymore. I
'Cause they were-
stole.
they were- I have 2 copies of Hatchet. I have one of the one after it. I don't remember what it was called. I have a copy of The Great Gatsby. I have a copy of A Fault in Our Stars. Like I didn't steal these on purpose. I just forgot where they
Yeah.
were at my house when I was growing up, and I just found them later on. But I have like 9 or 10 of these books, all just like in my house. One time I found one and I felt really bad about it because it was like the teacher's like personal copy, and I'm like, this, and I was in like high school, and it was like from like 4th grade, and I went back to my elementary school and gave it back to the teacher because I still knew her.
Speaking of books that were never given back, I
Ready
had
Player One.
I had a book, a very nice hardback copy of The Child Thief by Brom, and it's what it is
Never
is
heard
a
of it.
nightmarish retelling of the story of Peter Pan, and he's not a nice person at all
I've heard of
in
that.
this story.
That sounds freaky.
Huh.
Yeah. And it's like instead of like Captain Hook being Captain Hook like you think of from the
Yeah.
cartoon movie or whatever, he was actually like this Puritan like settler kind of thing that had come into the world of Neverland on accident and everything, and was just trying to get by and survive there with all the craziness that existed that he didn't understand, and treated it as if all the magic there was the devil's doing and stuff. But The Child Thief is a fantastic book, and it's by Brom, Brom.
Going
And
off
I
of that,
loaned that book to a friend and never saw it again.
my absolute favorite book that I own, that I've read multiple times, like this is like my favorite book to read again and again. It's actually it's called Peter and the Starcatchers, which apparently there's multiple of them. I didn't even know that, but it's like a retelling of Peter Pan as well, with like the way it works is different. Like the whole thing is that he like is on like this ship going somewhere and with this like princess or whatever, and like there's a chest that they like find on the ship that he has to help steal. That's actually like the fairy dust or whatever, and apparently it has a leak, and that's how he doesn't age. Like that's how the book goes through, that he's not aging because he like got too close to this. He should have died from how much of it he got close to, or whatever. But it's a really good book.
That reminds me a lot of the Everlost series, where the book basically opens up with, it's not even a spoiler, you find out very soon that the kids have effectively died in a car crash, and they're just in purgatory on Earth, and you can see all of these other kids, and they've formed this whole society, and buildings that were lost, that were like heavily memorized or like memorialized by people who are still alive, get saved in Everlost. So like the Twin Towers is something that they're like all about, and that exists, and other buildings that were a thing. But like throughout the whole book, anything that's like normal Earth and not fully in Everlost is like sucking you down through gravity, so you need to like stay on the paths or whatever. And it was interesting. It was just a really, really fascinating book, and there's like a 3-book series, I think, and it was
What book is that called?
Everlost.
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 A friend of mine recommended me to read that a long time ago, but I forgot about it, and they were like, just skip the first chapter and go back to it, so that way you like find out like why they're there at the end.
Oh, cool. Oh, sorry about that.
There's and then the
find out right
other
away.
book series I was going to tell you about is, because we're just talking about books. The book club. Welcome to book club.
Yay.
There's the DeLorean Legacies, which is, if you've ever seen the movie I'm Number 4, it's what
I
the
have.
first book is based
Another
off
movie that
of
was
that
terrible.
movie. So if you saw that movie before reading the book, it was a good movie, in my opinion. At
Yes.
least.
No,
The books are fantastic. There's like 9 or 12 of them now, something like that. They're called DeLorean Legacies. They're done now. Like the series is actually completed. There's a whole ending to the story. It wraps up really nicely, which most book series don't do. Like they just stop at one point.
Okay.
They are fantastic. I would highly recommend reading all of them. It goes way more in depth with the whole thing than you'd ever think they would do, especially like Chriselle, if you've seen part of, or if you've read the first one. At
Yeah.
least, it sounds like.
No, I've read up to like the 4th one, and I think that was like up until the time that they like the new books were coming out. So I
asked my
just never got
parents-
around to reading them again.
For my birthday, I asked my parents for a hard copy of the entire complete edition of them, of all of them together, like with the custom art design for all of them. But yeah, it's super cool. Like there is way more to that than you think, like because it goes way more in depth with the aliens and like how they get their powers and just for being special.
What's
and
the series
stuff.
called again? I've got a lot
DeLorean
of
Legacies.
Lorian.
I'll put it in the chat.
Okay, I've got a lot of books to add to my
Ski
wish list.
Mask, definitely. In the Harry Potter movies, they like just completely swipe entire subplots under the rug. Like there's just huge chunks missing. And don't get me wrong, the movies are fantastic, but they're
You kind of have to.
Yeah, you have to. Like I'm not even mad at that. Like the movies,
They didn't have
they
peeps.
did the best at
I
like
love
taking
the
chunks away,
shift.
but not taking the story away.
the shift
Yeah.
into long TV shows that things are taking.
Yes, so that you actually get everything. I would much rather have a season-long series based on a book than just like
And
1 2-hour movie. Like,
I think it's proving to be profitable. Like
Yep.
right.
Netflix is showing everybody that we'll watch it if you go to the effort to produce
Right.
like this
Well,
thing.
series
We
of
will
unfortunate
consume
The
it.
amount of
Yeah.
mainstream like anime that they're making in English, like Netflix is making in English, is
Mhm.
amazing. That it's like responding this well as well. Because normally like dubs, you get like
You have
years
to take
later.
a second to talk.
What?
No,
He's
he's
not
fine.
pushing
Go ahead.
like
Go
us.
ahead. No,
Oh,
go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, go, on.
Okay, well,
Seriously.
yeah, they're making tons of dubs, which you would never get for like a year or two after when the show came
Mhm.
out. But I think it's getting a lot more people interested in it that weren't like, I'm not going to watch it. I don't want to have to read. I want to watch a show or listen to it or whatever. But like a lot of people weren't getting into it. But Netflix is making these great shows, and everyone's like, let's watch them for
Yeah.
English.
How do you guys feel about dubs? Like with normal shows,
I-
not even just anime.
It
I'd rather
depends on
just
what
watch
I'm
it with
watching.
subtitles.
Oh, with normal shows, I can't stand subs for normal. Like, there's that one show I was telling you about that looks super interesting, but it was in German. I'm like, I can't
Which
watch
one?
this. It's it might not have been German.
I might have tried that.
I think it was Russian. I think you did.
Netflix is just casually
it's on my
recommending
continue
shows
watching,
that
so
are
just give
in
me
a
1 second.
total different language, but with like professional voice acting over top. And it
Oh no, this one was
ruins
just
it
subbed.
for
It
me.
wasn't dubbed. Well,
It
also
depends
right now
on
they're
what
not.
mood I'm in.
They're
I
not doing their
sometimes
dubs
like
right
dubs
now.
if I don't want to like. I'll watch dubs if I want to watch without watching. Like if I'm multitasking. But if I'm like sitting down to watch a show, I'll read the subs because I do subtitles on a lot of shows anyways. Because I'm slightly hard of hearing, like not a lot, but there's certain pitches.
I think
that
you
I
got
have-
me wrong. Because subtitles are great. I have them on all the time. But it's the voice over top, the subs.
Right, the dubs.
Yeah. So
The
with
show's
Money
called
Heist, that's a.
Sparta.
Oh, I
thing-
think I
the
tried
thing that-
Sparta.
The thing that kills it sometimes is I watch everything with subtitles on because I lose people's speech in sounds in the background.
Mhm.
I tried watching shows in other languages or movies in other languages that I don't know with English subtitles, and I can't do it. Like
I've
because
watched-
it doesn't match up for me. Now,
Yeah.
when somebody does a dub, even a really good dub, I still see their lips moving differently than what I'm hearing,
Yeah.
and it throws me. It takes me out of the movie.
In
Like when
normal
the guy's talking, he's like, "You want to fight?"
subtitles, I feel like they
With
just keep
anime,
me on.
they redo a lot of the
track.
lip work to make it fit for the dub, so it looks a lot better.
Yeah.
But also, if I've watched so much of it because
Okay.
that's in Japanese that I kind of like get a feeling for more of how the language is structured.
Yeah.
So it's like easier to watch it at this point.
I get the same thing
Yeah.
with like subtitles. If it's a different language, then I'm crutching on the subtitles. I'm properly reading them. But if it's like a normal show with English subtitles, it's just more or less like rails on a train. Like I'm just on the train, but the subtitles keep me on track. I can glance away, look at a phone, look at something else, and then glance back, and the subtitles will still have what was just said temporarily.
Yeah.
And that way I can just snap back into the story, and that it helps a lot. I watch shows
Any
while I brush
show
my
that it-
teeth a lot. That's nice, so I can just read
Any
it while
show
I
that
can't
has
hear.
subs, I definitely watch faster than shows with dubs because I watch shows with like dubs either like on my second monitor or whatever. But shows with subs, I will watch
gotta
like
pay attention.
phone, just like I'll just watch them on my phone.
Yeah.
I'll like watch through the entire thing because I just
Hmm.
like I'm not doing anything else and there's nothing else to distract me while I'm doing it.
Mhm.
Now you
Kind of
you
the
said
point.
something about them. You said something about them sweeping a bunch of storyline under the rug for the Harry Potter series.
Mhm.
Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones melded
Totally
characters.
reloaded. Yeah.
Melded characters together, like 5 different characters to make one character for the show,
Mhm.
because it was easier to produce that, and
Was
they cut out entire sections of storyline that just were unnecessary for the viewer and so on.
Mhm.
But they were great parts of the story in
Yeah.
the books.
Now I
I
didn't watch. I've never watched any of it. Why did they hated the last season? Because like didn't follow the story or something, right? Or it was ahead of the story.
It
It-
is ahead of the story,
rushed
but
and
they did
badly
it
done.
so badly. Like the worst. It was awful. It was
Yeah.
like the Last Airbender movie, but
Right.
8 episodes of that.
It's like they
Yeah.
built up this whole thing and then
Yeah.
did the opposite very quickly. They had
changed
2.
everyone's character arc.
They had 3 more seasons. 8, 9, and 10 were all set to go. But instead of 30 episodes, they're like, you know what? I think we can knock it out in 6.
We can do Star Wars.
And so they just did. They absolutely did.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's even as somebody who did not follow the series that closely, I could see the ending and was like, yeah, I got it. Because I mean, the whole show, this woman's all about peace and not burning a city at the end, and then does that.
Yeah.
And I think is that where where it lost a lot of people?
No, the
You lost people
battle was also where
Yeah.
they lost a lot of people because they had this big deal about winter is coming and everything, and it was like not winter. It was
I
just
did hear
like a
about that.
slight breeze, and also like the Dothraki had like a 2-episode respawn counter or something, so they all came back to life, which was dumb. After they all died.
How
But
does
they
that
came
work?
back.
They all died and then came back?
Like they all were dead, and then like 2 episodes later, hey, we're back. Nothing happened. We're fine.
I
And that
feel
was
like a lot of people that like were disappointed by that like went into The Witcher and then liked it because it was like the same kind of like feel.
Yeah, that was the
Um,
breath of fresh
I
air.
Ira's
don't know
like,
if
you
all
keep
of you have seen
spoiling
The
it, I'm gonna
Witcher. The
go.
Witcher
It's
is
been spoiled.
fantastic.
It's over. Gone.
What was that?
That's
The Witcher was
an
fantastic. Like the
interesting-
first
Yeah.
season.
Oh
an
yeah.
interesting take,
For
Fibro.
sure.
I like
It's
the idea.
so good.
I'd like to pursue that actually. Fibro talking about subtitling.
That could be nice.
Everything
We have space
we're
for it.
So I was
consider it.
actually just typing a response to that. So that would be really difficult because live subtitling is usually based off of your personal voice, and it's an internet program. It's not a local program.
That's the thing.
and
That
we have what?
if we were to get local programs and be able to send it to Beast to
Mm-hmm.
add in,
No,
No,
you'd only
so
be able
it
to go
would
on the
just be-
video. Wouldn't be able to go on the
it would
live
o-
one though.
Yeah, it would only be able to get Beast voice
Hmm.
because there's so many of us talking that it would not be able to accurately grab everyone talking, because then it would take what I was saying and match it with someone else is saying, especially when we're talking over each other. So it would be a jumble that didn't make sense. So if we were going to do that, we would have to each individually have that. And we have a hard enough time having internet that's consistent enough for each of us just to video stream, that I can't imagine like poor Sig trying to run the live captioning. And then you would have to do a capture of the subtitling and somehow send that along with your video. You would have to you'd have
My
to
head already hurts.
Also, if you have for any guests that would come on, you wouldn't be able to have captions for them unless you set it up beforehand. So
right. They
It
would
would just
have
be
to
an
set
extra
it up
thing they'd
on
have
their
to do.
side.
Mhm.
Because I do the live captioning for my streams, and so and that's fine and dandy, but it will only capture me. It's
no. And
also
that's-
YouTube auto subtitling is awful. So just like doing it that way is
Well,
just not a
no,
good way to go.
Fibro runs a different program than the YouTube auto
I know.
subtitling.
I'm just saying, like, if you wanted, that would be the easiest thing to do.
Mhm.
so Fibro. The difficulty
got
would be
you,
if you're sending video, and Discord only grabs video. It doesn't grab your we would maybe screen
We'd have
share,
to-
but then it would be then it would be weird. Like it would be very difficult to set up. So maybe something in the future, if the stream does well and we get sponsors and we could run like a different program that's paid for, that is better, we will readdress it at that point. But at this point, we are not sponsored and we don't have things.
Just starts doing it in person.
More than anything, why I addressed it was I thought it was a good idea, though.
Right.
And it's something I want to keep on the back burner at the very least. Is a possibility.
No, I absolutely agree that it's a good idea. Like I said, I do it in my own streams because it's just me, and I do occasionally have other people talking in the background, but it's not significant because it's not a
Before that, poor Euro was talking about us spoiling Game of Thrones, and that show has been so tainted for me that it's like you shouldn't even watch it.
It was so bad that people just spoiled it, like talking about how bad it was when it first came out.
They stopped caring. We're like, oh, we want to preserve this perfect show for you, but then in the last season, it's like,
my wife
started
and I
watching the
binge
first
watched
season.
it. Yeah,
I started watching the first season right before the last season finished, and everyone said the last season was so bad. I'm like, I'm not going to invest all this time just to get disappointed. So I just stopped watching it. I was like 6 episodes into the first season.
My wife and I, we got like these really cool little fancy designed artworks on like this one special box set DVD case that we could only find at this one particular Walmart. And we got like them like once every week. We would just go to that store, get those, and come back, watch the full thing in like 2 days, and then rinse and repeat. And when we got to the last season, we haven't bothered getting that new box set to complete it. So yeah, it's just been 1 through 7 is what that's sitting at right now.
I will completely contradict myself and say that I did watch Game of Thrones after it was all over, knowing full well what I was getting into, and loved it. It was awesome.
That picture I threw in Discord, I've ordered that artwork.
He's wearing a League of Legends shirt. I never even noticed. We've been talking about it.
We were talking about it while you were gone. It's
Oh.
I'm bummy today. I didn't bother to like put on cute clothes for fucking stream. So like I got on like
stream can't even see this.
Look at how it's all crumply. This is
still
old swag shirt. I've got on some like socks and some like sports shorts. Like I am bummy. Like this is like if I had hair and I was gonna bleach it, this is the hair.
Oh my god, what is this?
The artwork that I sent.
And yeah, any books I recommend? Ready Player One is an easy one. I really enjoyed The Hunger Games.
We're just talking about book recommendations.
Yeah, if you haven't read Avatar: The Last Airbender, you could try that. I have not read it personally.
That I've ordered that.
You doing okay, Rosa?
Yeah, I just died a little.
For the people watching that don't know about all the goings on in the Minerva Discord and so on, I got the book Ready Player One a while back as a thing in a loot crate. And I thoroughly enjoyed the book and told Beast about it.
Yeah.
And mailed it to him, and he thoroughly enjoyed it as well.
And then gave it to my sister.
We have both watched the movie since and hated the movie.
Oh.
Terrible. That was the thing.
Weren't you gonna send it to like Lego or something next after your sister finished it? I thought you were sending it to someone.
It has reached its final stop.
Yeah.
I thought
in the
after
library
your sister
of
read it, it was supposed to go to Jaffe, but then Jaffe decided
was it Jaffe?
Or something.
But yeah,
Jaffe makes too much money. He'll like literally that is his mentality. Like if there is anything that he can just purchase, he'll do it.
He'll just do it. Yeah.
Ben's is the same way. I brought up
point.
the G430 is like, yeah, nice headset. You should show. He's like, okay, it's ordered. I wasn't done. Ben's.
These are the 530s. I had Beast. I'm not gonna. I don't.
Everybody's
Words
different
are hard.
heads.
I had 9 pairs of the 430s.
9?
My cat loves the cord and keeps eating them.
What?
So I kept
This is really tasty.
it was like every 2 months, and there was a 3-month warranty, so I kept sending them back. But I bought at least 4 or 5 of them, and just because they were like past the warranty.
The guy in shipping and receiving is there. Like,
they were so comfortable, I just kept ordering them. But these headphones have the same cups, and they're super comfortable, and they're wireless, so you can't chew.
Which ones are those?
They're
The
super
533.
tasty.
I have 6 pair of those sitting right next to me. Let's try them out.
Yeah.
I have those right over there.
Mine are
I
$20
think we were
ones.
talking about ear or headphones, and these are what I said, and then you guys looked them up.
I'm gonna start using these and be like, yeah, it's Sig, I'll buy you another pair. These are mine now.
They're super cheap. They're like what, like $45 or something, probably.
Yeah, they're the same price as these.
And these last for like 12 hours too. Like, so
Well, I know a couple of y'all were here when I smashed
Or
the shit out of
16.
the 930s.
Yeah.
They upset me,
yeah.
and I really want a pair of wireless headphones that work and don't upset me.
These
But when
also have a
I'm-
nice program
I'm
that shows you
getting
how much battery they have
interrupted-
left.
When I'm
Mhm.
getting interrupted by my headset over and over, I don't have to deal with that.
That's a pet peeve for
I
Sig.
don't have to.
Wait, what was your headset doing?
Interrupting me.
It just
How?
kept coming out.
It would just
Like,
cut out.
mid-sentence, it
He'd
would
just be
cut out.
talking to us mid-set.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mine will do that like
Mhm.
once a week at most. Like I'll just have to unplug the
Whoa.
dongle and plug it back in.
I'll bet one
was
person
doing
in
it
the stream
twice
just
a
checked
day.
their
But
audio.
that's because I think that's because the software is not up to date anymore. I haven't updated it since I got them. Actually,
have been
I don't
fine.
think I have the software installed.
Yeah,
was just
mine
thinking-
was doing it about twice a minute, and finally I said, "You know what?" And I snatched it off my head, twisted it one good time, and slung it into the floor over there. And Iron was like, "What the fuck just happened?" I think he was
What
the only
have I
one
done?
actually
Yeah.
looking at me when it happened.
Great.
But yeah, it was
So yeah, I can't. Didn't bother sending it to
cathartic.
Jaffe because I think, no, Ready Player One. He didn't want the hard copy. He ended up reading the audiobook, loved it,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Yeah.
got a coworker to read it too. So Jaffe
Good
followed
audio.
through on that, and
But yeah.
as he has switched sides, he's like, nope, Beast, you were right. That movie sucks ass. He watched the movie again after reading.
Of it because Sig got me Christmas. For Christmas, he got me credits for audiobook or Audible.
Oh yeah, that's right.
There you go.
And so I've
That was-
listened to a good 90% of it, and then I had like a depressive episode, and I forgot to finish reading it. But from what I've read, like I said, I still like the movie. I'll think of it as a separate thing that
That's
just
that's
happens to have
best
the
way
Yeah, I
to
didn't
do
mean to
that.
stir up the movie
Yeah.
thing again. Because
Uh,
I had more for that too. Because he was asking about book recommendations, and Sig has still yet to follow this thread. But Mr. Was one of the best books I've ever read. Did you finally get the copy? Have you
I've
started
got
it?
so many to add to my recommendations.
I have it right here.
Was
So it's about a book where I don't know. I don't know what the hook is. I don't know. I don't want to spoil it, but
I
the
used
set
to
$2.49.
the
books
setup is
of-
you're reading this story that is like found.
I can tell you.
All right, here we go.
Oh my
Both those
god, Sig,
glasses.
you're so cute.
Those glasses are great on you.
Oh my god.
Oh,
They look like safety glasses, but for old people.
They probably are. I bet he doesn't even need them.
I do need them. For Jack, Bog's End is the end of the turbulent seesaw years of watching his father go on the wagon and fall right back off again. Once it took 2 years, but the inevitability happened. Now it's just Jack and his mom starting over in the strange old house his grandfather left them. Ride's not over yet. Jack's father returns full of apologies and promises, and for a little while things are looking up. Then one terrifying, sickening moment, everything comes crashing back down again. So Jack runs. He runs through the strange hidden door that takes him back in time to before his parents were born, before he was born.
Oh,
Maybe with
there's
a
another
second
book
chance,
series.
he can stop the inevitable. At least he's got that. At least he's got to try. What Jack doesn't understand, though, is that he can't change his future until he faces his past.
I just looked
ordered
at it
it.
real quick, and it looks like
He's already on it.
for Audible, it looks like if you don't need to like talk to them or at all to like get a sponsorship. All you have to do is like promote them, and for every free trial that someone signs up for, you get $15.
Good.
wow.
Yeah, it's like right on their homepage.
Well,
Yeah. So it was
discuss off stream.
Mr. Was.
No, I just thought it was funny that they didn't even have like an application process. They're like, hey, get a link.
Because that was one of those nice teen novels that like shook me for a lot of my life. Was just how the story played out. Like it was so.
Mhm.
I don't know. It was a deep story. It's a very good one. Anything to do with time travel. It was just so fucking. He gets sucked into a war, loses his mind. None of these are spoilers, and it's
I'm
just
looking forward to reading.
yeah, it's
Just
good.
ordered it. It was
It's
like
good. It's good.
$5 with free shipping for hardcover, which I love hardcover books.
Mm.
And this book, like, seriously look at it, it's literally 250 pages. If you sit down and try, you could probably read the entirety of the book in a day.
Yeah.
It's not. Yeah, I just haven't because.
Yeah.
And it was, I think I mentioned this before, I don't know if it was on the podcast, but it kind of hit home for me because as a kid, it was nice to believe it a little bit, you know, thinking that this whole story was found on some notebooks on the shore, like it sets up in the book, and then it was like...
Yeah.
And then, like, what, the nice little 1-2 punch was the fact that a lot of that took place in a city in Minnesota, and I was like, whoa.
What?
I know that place, you know?
Yeah.
Not that it has anything to do with anything. I just thought it was
Yeah.
really, really well placed, that scene.
I'm trying to think of the name of a book. Have you? I'm gonna what is the type of book when there's like 3 of them? What is that called in the
Trilogy.
series?
Trilogy?
Yeah. Okay, that's helpful for something else. But there was this book that I read when you talk about time travel and stuff, where basically like this plane like gets sucked into like a time hole where they're like brought into the future, and everyone's dead basically except for like 5 people from a
shit.
virus, and then there's people on the moon that are alive, but everyone on the Earth
course.
died from like a virus. Because these people, they were called like the 5 Fingers or whatever. They're like super inventors, and they figured out how to make immortality. And their like base is in like a hand, so it's cool. But someone tried to replicate their like immortality serum, which they didn't make public because it was like, hey, this isn't good if everyone lives forever and there'll be overpopulation problems or whatever. Someone replicates it, makes a bad version of it that caused a disease that makes you age instantly and die. So all these people come out of the plane who are immune to it by naturally because like where they came from. So they're trying to get the immunization for it so they can save the people on the moon. So half the people that aren't immune to it that were on this plane just immediately shrivel up and die. And it's a really good book, but I have no idea what the name of it is. I read it a long time ago.
He's gonna get us that far and then just...
Like I said, if someone in the chat, like if that
there's
rings
a
bell,
subreddit
knows about
specifically for that. It's like, what's
I don't
that
know what
book or something?
Yeah.
And if you give a description like as good of a description like that, they will solve it for you. I had like this white whale of a book series that I was trying to find for ages, and I finally found it using that subreddit.
Sig's already on it, but I figured you could have just Googled exactly that and you'd find it. Probably. I love that theory, though. You know, you find this serum that is meant to make you live forever, then everybody on the planet dies because it was a bad batch. Like, huh, yeah, gee, I guess everybody would try that one day.
And it's funny because 2 of the members like ended up fighting because they like this one girl or whatever, and your perspective is the girl that was on the thing, and so they end up trying to, the one from the past, the one from the future, try to kill because all 3 of them, the 2 people that liked each other and the girl, were on this one plane. That's why they chose that one to bring to the future. They end up trying to kill all the ones from the future so the ones from the past can live. Because to save themselves, they have to kill the one from the past.
I'm glad that I can show this now because Choo Choo sent me this in the middle of the podcast, which I don't love the timing of, which he commented on, but it was scam artist caught. Police arrested John Young, who has tricked people into buying some substance which he named the elixir of immortality. Upon questioning, they discovered that he had a criminal record dating back to 2004, 1965, 1923, and 1866. Huh?
He did the same. It was the same crime, right?
I don't know, but the fact that he has a criminal record dating back 150 years. I love that shit. The what's the movie? Oh, The Man from Earth, I think, was a movie where a guy just lives forever and they talk about it, and it's a really great, like, thought-provoking movie. Something good to watch following After the Dark, another good movie that's kind of like theory crafting. And that's a good one. And then that reminded me of Time Trap, where they go down into a cave where time is just like a bubble and it just moves way, way faster, or way slower, I should say, in the cave. And you go into the cave and there's this whooshing sound of, like, you know, everything getting dark and light at the same time. They're fucking seasons. That's seasons.
I think I saw that episode of Stargate.
Oh, that's like what's it called from the one? What is that movie where they?
Well, it's a movie called Time Trap, and
no, but it's like when they go on the one planet and what's the movie?
Oh, would that have been Interstellar?
Really like Interstellar, yeah. It's like when they're on the one planet.
Where the planet ages 7 years to 1 hour or something.
Yeah.
They get back on the ship and their co-pilot, the dude who's waiting for 23 years.
That was so sad.
That movie hit hard multiple times.
See, there's one other book that I don't know the name of, but there's 3 or 4 of them in the series now. I think there's 3. That's why I was asking what it was called. But basically, like, they go to this one place and they end up finding out that they're like back in that like hundreds of kids died from falling off over a waterfall in like a barge or whatever. And the whole book is like them trying to use this one book that this one of them can control to go back in time based on the pictures they put it into it to try to save all these kids on this barge. And it turns out there's like 2 or 3 other books that like each of the 3 kids can use, and they have to like try to figure out how to use them. Yeah.
I do recall watching that movie you were talking about where they were down in
Time
the
Trap?
cave.
That was a Discord call. We watched that in a group.
Yeah.
I've heard of it. I just never watched it.
That was one of our movie nights. Great pick. Time Trap was
I'll get
worth
around to
watching.
watching it.
I'd watch it
But it was-
again. I mean,
I think my favorite part of the whole thing was where they had the rope,
I was gonna
coming down
say
and they
just now.
grabbed the rope to pull it, and it just popped and fell.
It
It was
snapped.
like,
Is
you
it-
just
oh,
what
'cause it
what
just-
happened?
It
And it was
aged
because it had
off.
aged differently between where the difference in time was, and yeah,
Weird.
The
and rope
birthday
just
boy is right below me.
separated there.
Han is 20 years old today.
Yay.
That was
Happy
an
birthday,
insane.
Han.
Because I'm to your side on my screen.
Just them trying to get out, finding out what's going on with this cave. It's a very good watch.
Mhm.
A very good watch. Kind of like it's like an indie movie kind of thing, but like done well. There's some serious moments where you're like, "Oh shit, this isn't just some flick. This is damn."
And
Uh,
they had the one kid they left outside the cave because he was an annoying little, hanger on or whatever, and they were like, "No, you can't come with us." And then he grew up thinking they were all dead or whatever.
I don't want to ruin the
back to
good
fun.
conversation or whatever, but I have to go. My family's waiting on me. I was
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
We're at
Man.
2 hours anyway. We
Okay.
might be able to
Yeah.
call
Yeah,
the
that's-
show here.
because
Mhm.
I'm like I'll probably be over around like 6 o'clock, and then apparently they have food.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
Yeah, it is that
Yeah,
time I
perfect
gotta
time.
go myself. So
Yeah.
That was all movie recommendations, by the way, you guys. So
And
take
books.
notes. All right.
And
Yeah,
book
if you ever-
recommendations.
If you want books or movie recommendations, just walk back to the stream. We probably talked about
Yeah.
20 or 30 of
I'm a
them.
connoisseur of the cinematic arts, so I'll
Mhm.
happily. All right. Minerva Podcast, episode 26.
Rosa, do
Yay.
the thing.
Do the
hold
thing.
on.
That's the thing.
Ha!
Wah!
See you guys.
See ya.